Hey, what's happening, man? It's your boy Dion checking in.
This your man Will, aka your favorite homie.
Welcome you to the buffet. One thing about it, two things for sure, you're going to get good conversation and good motivation. Let's eat.
You. What's going on, y'all? Yours truly, your boy Mike, the franchise player, giving you this 2024 recap. It's going down. So, 2024 in a nutshell. Man, trying times, trial and error. What can I say? What can I say, man? It was the best of times, it was the worst of times, but most importantly, I'm just thankful to be here, man. Honestly, like last year, it was one of the first years where multiple people close to me passed. Like up to this point, I've been blessed to not have too many deaths in my life, like happen very close to me. But last year was the first year where it's like, all right, classmate after classmate after classmate after it was just insane to me. So I'll start this podcast by saying rest in power, RIP to everyone we lost in 2024. If you lost a loved one, um, yeah, definitely want to take a moment to reflect on the ones we lost, but also appreciate take a moment to really appreciate what they left with us. The times that we had, the blessings that just the blessing that it was to be around those people. And so just want to start off like that. For me overall, so how there'll be an artist list, insert artists here, right? There'll be artists that go on this run where they're constantly doing features and things like that. I would say that's what last year was for me. Like, you don't always, the realization of you don't always have to be player one. Like, you don't have to be Mario all the time. You don't have to be Sonic all the time. You can, it's cool to be an NPC. It's cool to be, you know, another rant I'm about to go on. So, one thing that made a lot of 90s sitcom great was the fact that they had great, supporting cast members. And so for me, I would say last year was me and my supporting cast role. And that's the main reason I say that. The shirt I got on, Stuttgart Legacy Drumline, right? Started by Mr. Clarence Everett. Shout out to Clarence. He did his thing. They started in 2017. I started coaching them in 2023, if my memory serves me correctly. So I've been with them for 2 seasons now. And last year was the first time they did a competition in the United States. So being a part of that was cool for me, seeing all the work that he put. Like literally when I first met him, he had this vision, like, hey yo, I wanna go to a competition in the States. Now little did we know it was gonna be in his hometown of Fayetteville, North Carolina. And so it was cool to see his village come together to make that happen. And it was a beautiful thing to see. Students put in the work. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna lie. I was nervous because I knew it was at stake. So we were supposed to battle three other drum lines for whatever rhyme or reason. One of them didn't make it, but yeah, we ended up. Long story short, we ended up winning that. The Stuttgart Legacy Drumline ended up winning that competition in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and it was a full circle moment for Clarence because the school that was hosting the drumline was the high school he went to. So we got to see like the godfather of the Stuttgart Legacy drumline, which was his band director at Smith, E.E. Smith. I had to stop myself. I almost said Ben L. Smith, but that's in Greensboro, North Carolina. But at E.E. Smith in Fayetteville, North Carolina, they hosted the competition. So it was cool to see, where he came from, the people that played a huge role in developing him and his musical talents, his meeting his family, the close knit family that he had to help us make this all possible. It was a beautiful thing. So that's why I got this Mission Impossible hoodie on. Oh, there's just a lot of 2024. Like I'm not gonna lie, it was a year where I understood that, man. It was a year. There's a lot of learning. I'll put it to you like that. It was a lot of learning going on, and I'm thankful for all those lessons along the way. Like I had to have things removed, taken away from me. Granted, my fault. Don't get me wrong, all my fault. But there were certain things taken away from me that I just had to understand. Like, for example, I lost my driver's license temporarily, so having to go around and take the bus and hitch rides from people, things like that. It was very humbling, So hey, I'm gonna check the sound right quick if y'all don't mind. All right, yeah, my sound is good. Boy, wanted to make sure I wasn't muted, yeah, because I would have been hurt if I was 6 minutes in and no volume. But no, all my fault. When you have certain freedoms taken away from you, and then you're relying on, you learn how to trust others. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm one of those people where if I can do it myself, I'm gonna do it myself. I don't really ask for help that much. But shout outs to everybody that supported me through that, because it was definitely trying times. So I'll just go month by month down the line. So how my 2024 went. January, the main thing I remember, other than January being my birthday month, we had a Black History March. I remember doing that weekend, heavily involved with the frat that weekend. And then the following month there was a step show. So once again, Stuttgart Legacy Drumline crushed it at the step show the following month in February. And it was crazy because, like, not even to toot my own horn to be that guy, but one of the main takeaways from this step show was the fact that the Stuttgart Legacy Drumline performed at it, because a lot of these, because it was hosted by the Eastern Stars out here, and so we have, if I remember correctly, it was, I think, five organizations doing the step, performing in the step show, but the Stuttgart Legacy Drumline opened it up. And and quick backstory: one of the students got sick, so I had to fill in for him. And a lot of people didn't realize, like, I wasn't a student. It's funny because to this day, one of the members of Delta Sigma Theta, their Founders Day was yesterday, by the way. Shout out to them. One of the members to this day still calls me 21 Jump Street. to this day. To this day, she calls me 21 Jump Street because they didn't realize I was actually a coach, a grown man, a member of Alpha Fraternity Incorporated until the end of the show. They just thought I was a student when I was performing with them. So at the end, when I threw it up on stage, they were like, "Oh snap, that's a grown man." And then when I changed clothes into my paraphernalia and things like that, they're like, "Oh snap, I didn't know that you just performed with the kids." So it was moments like that that were cool. It was cool to watch the community embrace the students like that. Because I mean, imagine y'all, like, we're in Germany. What do you think the students look like? So to see a drumline with that demographic perform the way that they did, it just caught everybody by surprise. And I'm very thankful to the community that they embraced the students the way that they did. So they killed it. The students crushed it. and it was a beautiful experience, man. Just a lot of firsts happened because I want to say that was the first MLK event or Black History event that they did out here, and so for it to be received the way that was cool. March, I ain't gonna hold you. If I draw a blank throughout this recap, it's literally because majority of the year was a blur. Like it was literally work, drumline, alpha for like half the year. The first half of the year is just work, drumline, alpha. And so I want to say in the end of March, towards the end of March, I got into a car accident, totaled my Impala. That was my baby too. Like that was I was I started making double payments on it because I'm like, yeah, I'm about to pay this mug off. I'm trying to not have no car note whatsoever, things like that. Ended up wrecking it right there towards the finish line. So once again, just not taking things for granted. Like just being appreciative of the things that you have, the privileges, the freedoms, and also just appreciating things while they're in your life because not everything is promised to be there long term. There's a lot of things. Last year really taught me like there's a lot of red box blockbuster situations in life, and where it's just temporary. So and understanding what box to put certain things in. Like there are times where like you can't treat temporary things like they're going to be there permanently. Like if you make the decision to treat those things as such, and yeah, for a rude awakening. So just understanding what's supposed to be there for how long, like putting things in a proper perspective of what role do they play, stuff like that. And so, yeah, man, going back to March, got in a car accident and yeah, lost the baby, lost my Impala. April, went back to the States. I was able to go back to Hampton, Virginia, visit family. Came back in May, if I'm getting my dates right. Yeah, came back in May, bought another car, and then that's when I found out my license. That's when I found out my license was suspended, man. Like, so basically how Germany is set up, where they don't have they do have police out and about, but for the most part, when you speed into things like that, they got cameras just set up everywhere. So they got these cameras set up every which direction, and so anytime you're speeding in those areas, you'll just see a flash, flash, got you, and then they mail you the ticket. So depending on how quickly it takes you to get that ticket, you could mess around, be late as heck. You could be late as heck on paying that thing back, and now all right, the fine is double. Now it went from this many euros to this many euro, things like that. And so, because I'm the heavy-footed person that I am, and I was constantly ripping and running. So yeah, last year I will say this. I was constantly ripping and running because there were just things I did not want to face. Like last year, I really contemplated like, all right, it might be time to, it might be time for a career change. It might be time to, really push the reset button on some things. And I struggled. I struggled with that mightily to where I wasn't liking what I was doing at work, so I was looking for other things to find that fulfillment. So that's why I was heavy in being assistant coach of the drumline, getting involved with the fraternity the way that I was at the time. And later on, you'll see, like literally just finding reason. I was literally trying to find. I call it productive procrastination, where you do things that that are productive, but you're really just trying to kill time, or you're trying to just either put off something you don't want to do, or you're being productive while you're in exist mode. And so I I don't encourage productive procrastination. What I would encourage is if there's something you want to get after, man, get after it. Like don't there's no reason to run and hide from it. Like just get after it. So yeah, and May got my license suspended, and there's a funny thing about another situation. Folks will kick you while you're down. Like I remember, like one of the days where I was talking to the people at work that deal with the whole licensing thing or whatever. There was somebody just randomly that came out of the office that was laughing, like making fun of the situation. So I was giving them short answers, like, whatever. And I vividly remember them saying, "Yeah, I'll be sure to honk my horn at you at the bus stop, whatever." Now, let this be a lesson. People will kick you while you're down, but not realize it's only temporary. Like I'm not, I'm not always gonna be in this predicament. So when I'm not in that predicament, I'm remember, I remember when you said what you said and did what you did. So yeah, the best. As I said this when I was in high school, man, success is the best payback, and that's a whole nother story in itself. Why how I came to that realization, and we'll talk about that in a later episode. 'Cause yeah, my adolescence in itself is a story episode in itself. But I remember certain people like trying to trying to kick your boy while he was down, and so that pretty much yeah from May to October was when my license was suspended. So, but it was a blessing in disguise because I got to slow down on a lot of things. Like I legit needed to just slow the heck down. I needed to focus on the things that were really important. That's family. That's my military education. Things like that. Like things that I was not putting the right amount of energy and effort towards because I was too busy out here trying to, find other ways to feel like somebody because I wasn't getting it at work or in other regards. So that was that. Yeah, so June. Oh yeah, in May we did a parade, the Stuttgart Legacy Drumline. A lot of firsts happened last year. We did a parade in Pilsen, and for those that don't know where Pilsen is, it's like near the Czech Republic area. It's like near Prague. And so, what I didn't know prior to this parade was that they have this Liberation Day parade where they celebrate gaining their independence. Because once upon a time, Pilsen was like under the ruling of Germany and Russia, and so due to the results of some conflicts, they were able to gain their freedom because of that. So every year since they gained their independence, they have this parade where they literally cosplay as like American soldiers. Like it's weird. It's weird to see this in another country because I'll be honest, like when you go to certain parts of the world and they find out you're an American. For those that ever want to know what it's like to be black in America, go to another country where they don't want you there. And the looks that they give you and things like that's how it is. So like sometimes in the states where you go certain places and you can kind of feel they probably don't like my kind around here. You get that vibe in other countries where it's like, oh, well, but instead of it being like, oh, it's because I'm black, it's literally because I'm an American, and they can see it out the gate. The way we talk, the clothes we wear, things of that nature. Some places they just do not like Americans, and that's fine. It's you got home field advantage. Like this is your turf. I'm a visitor, so it is what it is. But I also learned in that you don't necessarily have to go where you're not wanted. Like if you're not wanted there, you don't have to go there. Unless it's just one of those places like I want to visit. I have a high desire to visit these locations. Where if they don't want you there, you don't have to be there. And so, but yeah, that's a once again a whole nother episode. So yeah, in May we did the Liberation Day parade in Pilsen. The drumline was the first American act, even though we're based out of Stuttgart, Germany. We were the first American act to ever perform in that parade. And so they were eating it up, man. They loved it. They loved the Stuttgart Legacy drumline. And yeah, we're going back this year too. So looking forward looking forward to the new students having that opportunity to perform in front of that many people for that reason, where they're embraced the way that they are. What else? June, I will be completely honest. I do not remember too much from the summer other than went on my first cruise ever in life. That was cool. Shout out to Virgin Voyages. They we did a tour of Greece, so like Mallorca, Santorini, Bodrum, Turkey. I'm probably said that wrong, but there was two other places that we went, and I am drawing a blank on it. But yeah, it was a great experience. I highly encourage, if for those that ain't seasick, if you are, just get the little wristbands, whatever that that'll help you balance that out, or take the proper medication to help balance that out. But I highly encourage going on a cruise. I highly encourage um taking a knee when you have to. Like, you don't have to always be in the game. Like, it's okay to be on the sidelines sometimes. Like, because that's how you gain a different perspective. And honestly, that's what I enjoy the most about living in a different country. Just being able to sit on the sidelines and watch how things are playing out in the United States. Um, watch how decisions are made, the influences, to see it and not necessarily be caught up in it, and then also hearing the other countries how they view it. Like, I'll take the election for example. Um, there were people in other countries that were watching the election in the United States closer than some of us do, and I am not making this up. Like, there. I remember when the results came in, people were constantly asking, "So, how do you feel about?" It's like, it's gonna be what it is. That's who people voted for. That's who won. So it is. So it is. But it was just interesting to me how much interest people took in that. Because I don't know me, when I'm one of those people where, look, I and also, this is something else I learned last year. My tunnel vision. When I throw the horse blinders on, like, it is for real. Like, and so I need to do a better job of being cognizant of what's happening outside of things that directly affect me, if that makes any sense. I'm definitely out of sight, out of mind kind of person, unfortunately. So I need to be cognizant of, like, what's going on at home, what's going on with loved ones, things like that. I know since I've been out here in Germany, I've lost a couple of family members, and it was so sudden that unfortunately I wasn't able to attend their funerals and things like that. So once again, going back to the piece I kicked off the stream with, like, appreciate these people while they're here, because you just never know. And so yeah, went on a cruise. That was in July. In June, oh yeah, so in June I switched over. So I went from working in one branch to another, same division, but a lateral movement. But it was a good career move for me, because it put me in position to check a box I need to. And since I'm speaking on career progression, something else that around this time that I stopped ignoring was my military education. So currently, I am in a distance learning course that I have to knock out before June. And so last summer was around the time I started taking it a lot more serious than I was before. And one of the reasons for that was, once again, because while being out here, I had that epiphany of, oh snap, like, I might need to do something different with this. I might need or want to go in a different direction, because how this is going right now, this ain't it, chief. But Ended up switching, going to a different branch to take a higher position from where I was before. And so getting that experience, learning new people, learning the job, that was June. July was the cruise. August, August. And this is also around the time, because mind you, my license is still suspended, so I'm not driving around like I once was. So August, significant events that happened. We started band camp, and this band camp felt different. It felt different. One, because one of the cases, it's three coaches. There's the head coach, Clarence. I'm an assistant coach, and there's another assistant coach named Nick. Right at the beginning of band camp, I mean, it was like right after. I think it was like the day after his birthday. Nick went to the hospital, and so going through band camp, because we planned this out, like how things were going to go down with the drum line this year, things of that nature. And he ended up being admitted into the hospital. So that was heavy on our hearts the whole time we were doing the camp and things of that nature. So I took time off from work to help facilitate the camp. Coach was there, leading the charge. But we knew that, like, look, this was the year we're going to the States. Like, this is the year we're going to our first competition. Just trying to calculate how much it's going to cost, buying the cases. Because mind you, because we've never traveled overseas before, we didn't have things like drum cases, know the cost of it, to how to go about buying plane tickets, things like that. But I will say the parents showed up. The people at the school, they did help. The community showed up. His family showed up. Like, there's a lot. I can't thank the Everett family, the the Stuttgart High School staff, everybody that made that trip possible for these students to fly to the United States and compete in this competition that they ultimately ended up winning. So literally all through band camp, we had that goal in mind. So it was and one thing I noticed early on, these students, like, they caught on quick. Like, even though, how can I say this nicely? Even though some of them didn't have like the musical background or the experience, they just caught on fast. And I realized that very early on. And so that was huge. Honestly, that was the biggest X factor for our success so far this season, was the fact that we didn't have to constantly rehash and rehearse some things, and we didn't have to spend forever teaching things. Like, it was show them, like, literally that day, show them, and they're like, all right, we got it, and then we could go on to something different. So we were able to cover a lot of ground very early, and that was huge. That was camp. September. What happened in September? That was significant. I feel like there was something significant that happened in September, but I am missing it. We're still doing flag football, things like that. I have to come back because September is a blur for me right now. September is a blur. I know I went on a couple of trips. I went to Spain for the first time in September for work-related stuff. So that was cool. October was the competition. All the hard work. And mind you, when I say all the hard work, because the coach had the idea, Clarence, he had the idea of what the show was going to be, like, even like the season before, like in the spring of 2024. And we even played through a little bit of it towards the end of the season, just a snippet. So yeah, all summer, like I remember going to his place, and we're just like playing through like solos, like just you know trying to figure out what the structure of the show, what it's going to look like, solos, things of that nature. And from that point, which we're talking like May, June time frame to October, that the moment was there. Like we are here. Like it's no longer a dream. It was a dream of Clarence's like ever since 2017. But for these students, like it's a reality. Like I just picked up this drum a couple months ago, and here I am in my first competition. So we're at the competition, Fayetteville, North Carolina, hosted by E. Smith. And I knew that once they got comfortable, they'd be fine. But it was a culture shock because, like, mind you, you're taking these students from freaking Germany and taking them to Fayetteville, North Carolina, a completely different culture, completely different demographic, completely just everything is different. So, one of the things that helped them get comfortable very quickly was the fact that one of the rehearsals before the competition, um, the staff at E. Smith was nice enough to let us use their facilities to practice. We were able to watch them practice. We were also able to practice at E. Smith. And the way the students at E. Smith embraced the Stuttgart Legacy drumline, man, that it was a beautiful sight to see. But what was even more beautiful was seeing how their director embraced, one of their former students bringing their own drumline to back home. So the love that and I can see it on his face, man. Just Clarence was eating it up, man. He was as he was supposed to. It was a moment not only for the students but also for him. All your hard work, everything you've done up to this point was not in vain. It wasn't. It didn't go to waste. So I was happy that he was able to get his flowers from the director at E. Smith, and so it was cool to see that. It was needed too, because like I'm not gonna hold you. The first, I think one or two, the first couple of performances that we did, because we were playing for everybody. Like we were going to different places and playing for family members, playing for staffs, playing for the staffs at different places. Because all this stuff was set up on the itinerary. We didn't just go down there just cold turkey and just all right, get off the plane and then competition. No, like it was a build up. Like each day was a different performance for a different crowd. So that Thursday performance, that was you could see the power levels for those that play video games or watch anime and things like that. You could see the power levels increase after the Thursday night practice. Like the more love they receive, the better the students perform. So I remember how that practice started, how they sounded. And then when each school was going back and forth, so the Stuttgart Legacy drumline would play something, E. Smith would drumline would play something, the back and forth exchange. Friendly, mind you, exhibition. It wasn't for those that have been involved with drumline competition or just been in any kind of organization. When you got another a group in front of you, you have that mentality to want to be like, all right, there goes another group. I must be better than them. It's on site. I must slaughter them. I must conquer them. It wasn't like that. It was literally just let me say this. It didn't feel like it. If they thought like that, it didn't come off that way. We just felt embraced by the students and by the faculty there. And so that was cool to see. And that day, I remember the day of the competition. I was like, all right, as long as this aura, as long as they carry this over to Thursday, not Thursday, as long as they carry over this aura from Thursday to Saturday, they will be fine. So first performance happens. The first performance happens, and one of the students dropped their stick, not just once, but twice. And I remember they were getting off to a good start too. I was like, okay, they sound good, you know, they're keeping tempo, all that stuff. And as a coach, like this is the closest thing other than being a pet owner. This is the closest feeling to being a parent that I felt, because like once they're out there on the field, like there's nothing you can do. Like it's literally, all right, you have taught them, we've gone over this so many times. It's on them now. Ball's in their court, they're on the field. It's on them. So when and it's the youngest student too. It's funny because like that student is actually a middle schooler that's performing with this drum line. So he dropped his stick twice. And I remember one of the parents beside me that was a chaperone said his name out loud. Like it's even on the video because I'm holding one camera. I'm holding like two different cameras. So I got one phone that's live on the Facebook page for Stuttgart Legacy Drumline, and then there's the coach's cam. And I remember running it back on on one of the phones and hearing the parents say that the student's name. It was hilarious at the time. Like looking back on it, it was hilarious. But yeah, if that cost us a win, it wouldn't have been as funny. But yeah, man, I remember seeing that stick hit the ground twice, and I was like, "Oh dear God!" everything that we've worked towards to this point is. But you know, fortunately, they still did enough to pull out the victory in the first round, and then the second round, it was pretty clear. Like the second round was a decisive victory, and the main reason for that was because the students, the drumline we were going up against, they basically played the same. They played the same thing they did in the first round, and not that it was bad, but we gave two different shows. If you're unless your show is that nice, unless your show is that nice, but you gotta bring something different. You gotta bring something. Like I remember being in college, and in a season where we played, because we didn't go to every single game. If we went to 7 games, there was 7 different shows. Like it was rare. It was rare that we would recycle a show. Super rare. Y'all get a different show every game. So the same concept applies here, man. Like if you want to keep the crowd entertained, unless the show is that spectacular, like you got to switch it up. You have to. And so they did enough to take the win, and that was a beautiful moment. Like I was so happy for the students, but especially happy for Clarence, because this was a dream of his since 2017. And I will say this, I've never seen somebody who possesses the gift of manifestation the way that he does. Like this man, ever since I first met him, he would say, "Yeah, man, I just hope we get like more students to come out and join." The next time I'll go to practice, there will be new faces. Yeah, man, I'm hoping to do this competition. Sure enough, I've been with this drumline for 2 years now. The second year, we did the competition. So it's beautiful to see. It's also another lesson learned from 2024. It's like you gotta plan things out. Like you gotta set things in motion. You gotta. I'm trying to say this without sounding crazy or super spiritual, but if you really want something to happen, you got to believe that it is possible. Like you got to believe not only in yourself, but you got to believe that everything will align in your favor for it to happen. I'll never forget being in college, and they showed us this video called The Secret. And in that movie, they talked about how, you really got to put yourself in the moment like it happened already. Like let's say for those that are in school right now, like you're going to class A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, you may feel like you're just going through the motions, but one thing you can do is just imagine how it's going to feel when you walk across that stage. Like X amount of years of work just for 15 seconds of celebration. But you just have to imagine, and a degree that nobody can take from you, that's going to last you for the rest of your life. But you just got to imagine how you're going to feel in that moment. You got to imagine what it's going to be like when you know, turn in that last exam, when you look at your transcript and see all courses complete and things like that. You know, so yeah, man. That's I've never seen somebody who would just, and he's constantly in prayer too. So there is that part. Like you gotta be spiritually aligned, if you will. Like you gotta be very self aware and very, yeah, like that's the best way I can word it. You just gotta be aligned with oneself. Very much so aligned with oneself to make these things happen. And man, so that was the competition. Um, After that, I flew back to my hometown in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. Did some work on the house that I grew up in, spruced it up a little bit, and then came back to Germany. November. November. Oh yeah, and right before the drumline trip, flag football, flag football season was over. We lost. We were fourth place in the playoffs, and we got bounced. Double elimination, we got bounced, and it was frustrating because I played on defense. I would be the first to say offense ain't really my thing. Hands ain't all that. Hands ain't reliable on the football field. Now outside of that, yeah, all day. But on the football field, I would say I am definitely a defensive back. I am not a wide receiver. Maybe even a running back. You know, I might surprise you every now and then, like, oh snap, he caught it. But no, definitely had a decent season playing on defense. You know, a couple interceptions, almost had a couple pick sixes, a lot of tackles, a lot of pass breakups. And did I get mossed a couple times? Absolutely, because of course when you're in that position, nobody walks away unscathed, man. Like when you there's certain positions on the field and in life where you're just gonna be vulnerable. Like you're gonna be, you know, in very vulnerable positions, and you just gotta show up. And there were times where I did not show up, and it showed. But I can say, like, our defense, we had a legit defense. Games we lost, it wasn't like when I played. Games we lost, it wasn't like in blowout fashion. Like this, it'd be like low scoring games, like 6-13 or 6-14 or 13-20. You know, things like that. It wasn't like the people were just putting up numbers and putting up scores on us. So that was, you know, disappointing heading into the competition. But I mean, once again, the whole reason for me playing flag football was to just pass time until I got my license, but also, you know, getting in shape, stuff like that. Because I had I had my PT test the month before, so all season long, you know, just doing all that cardio and things like that. I will be the first to say I hate cardio. I hate running long distances. Here, their speed, I got you all day. Anything less than a 200 meter, I got you all day. Also, just talking about things that happened for the first time. Growing up, it's funny because growing up, you know, my friends ran track, and there were times I'd even go to track practice, but I didn't run track. I always just to be there kicking it with the homies and just watching them and do their events and things like that. But for the first time in my life, I actually like ran an event. And after the event, I realized like I should have been doing this all the time. I should have been running track when I was in like middle school or high school. But you know, hindsight's 2020. That's neither there nor here, neither here nor there. But I know for sure one thing I would do once you know, start having kids and things like that, they would definitely run track. But yeah, like we in what, November now? Yeah, November. I want to say that's when the Olympics took place. It was either October or November. I can't remember. But yeah, the Olympics at work. They had certain events. I ran a 200. I ran two events actually. I ran the 4x100 and also ran the 4x400. Yeah, so the 4x1 and the 4x4. Ran those events. And it was cool. It was cool. There was also a flag football event that happened. It slaughtered. We slaughtered everybody. Like that team was just loaded. It was unfair. What else happened? And then we get to December, closing out the year. Closing out the year. That was the first time first time in a long time, kind of got to explore what's out in Europe. You know, because for a while, for the longest time, I was really hyper focused on work, like just the job. And so if they didn't send me somewhere, I didn't go anywhere for the most part. And so finally getting the opportunity to venture out and even 2024 in general, like between the cruise, some of the places we went with the Drumline, but in my personal life, like December was the first time legit being able to like venture out and see some things. Went to Barcelona and brought in the new year in Prague. And I was I was telling a story earlier to the Drumline coaches. So in Prague, at this place called House of Fun. And in Prague, I remember hearing, hey, there will be no fireworks. So don't expect to see any fireworks. Like there was some kind of rule in place where they weren't supposed to shoot off fireworks. All right, cool. So I had this place called House of Fun, which is basically like Dave and Buster's on steroids, basically. And across the street, like so the place on the fourth or fifth floor, there's like this little balcony area where you can go out, smoke cigarettes, things like that. Do what you do. So we out there on the balcony and we look across the street and there was this plastic covering over somebody's balcony, over somebody's deck area or whatever. And so because people were letting off fireworks in the city when they weren't supposed to, one of the fireworks ended up hitting that plastic covering, caught fire. So everybody here at everybody who was on the balcony, who was out there smoking or just out there enjoying the ambiance, the festivities, and things like that, they saw this fire happening. And so we're watching it happen. One of the staff members at House of Fun called it in, like he had his little walkie-talkie or whatever, and they're speaking. Of course, I can't understand exactly what they're saying, but I could put two and two together. Like certain things, I could tell. Like, all right, he's saying fire at this location. You know, so he called it in. No, firefighters eventually came, and it was cool just watching. If for those who don't have an appreciation for first responders, you're not going to fully understand until you see them in action. You know, so let's be real. Unless your house, unless something very near and dear to your heart has caught fire, you probably don't have an appreciation for firefighters like that. But watching them in real time, it was a cool sight to see. So hey, shout out if you are a firefighter, for those watching this video, if you are a firefighter or you know a firefighter, man, hey, shout out to you. Shout out to you all, because y'all the real MVPs, man. And keep doing what you're doing. All first responders for that matter. Keep doing what you're doing. You have the utmost respect from yours truly. But yeah, so watching them in real time put the fire out, they got in a little cherry picker or whatever, hosed it down, crisis averted, you know. So that was cool to see. But yeah, that was a quick recap. Actually, that wasn't quick at all. That was during their 50 minutes. My 50-minute recap of my 2024 lessons learned. Definitely take the time to push the reset button when you need to. Like if you need to sit on the bench, if you need to get on injured reserve. Oh yeah, and I got my license back in October, by the way. So your boy was back in action in October, and I haven't looked back since, man. So it feels good just to be able to go from point A to point B on my own terms. I actually have anxiety. Like I have real bad anxiety when I go certain places, and I can't leave when I when I want to. I don't know if it's some childhood trauma stuff or whatever, but to this day, like I need to be able to go and leave on my own terms when it comes to like going places. Otherwise, I'm gonna feel wild anxious, and I don't like that. I'm like this. I hate it, but it is what it is. But no, overall, a lot of lessons learned in 2024. Actually, I'll be honest with you. One of the reasons I wanted to get back to doing this podcast is I realize what I'm doing in my career now is temporary. It's not going to be forever. What I really want to do is something involving graphic design. Like, mind you, like I went to North Carolina A&T State University and have a degree in graphic design. Like Miss Cynthia Thompson brought that up to me, and since she introduced me to that program, like it's been something I've been passionate about. I was passionate about it. I shouldn't say passionate about it, but I remember being in high school, School of Technology, and taking a course on multi-design, being introduced to the Adobe suite and things like that, and like doing my first skit where I was pretty much yeah, the person that's going in the office soon. Imagine a black version of that, and that's basically what the skit was. And that was me in high school doing that kind of stuff. So from there, like doing the first skit in high school to going to college and doing the franchise files and other projects, to in my adult life now in my 30s doing the podcast. Like, mind you, the first live show that we did, when I was talking about how, like, yo, folks have been doing this for a while. Like, this whole YouTube thing, this whole content creating thing, your boy's been at it for a minute. Like, this journey, you're talking 2005, 2006, the first project. And then the franchise files being something that started in 2009, but the first episode in there to like 2010. And to the podcast started in 2020. I think the first episode dropped in April 2020. Like, folks aren't being trendy. Like, this is you're talking to people that legit do this content creating stuff. So this is a passion of ours. Yeah, man, we just want to put our talent, put our greatness on display, put our talents to good use. And I know for me, I mean, this is a portfolio builder. Like, how can you expect to get a job with no resume, no portfolio, no work to show, all right, this is what I can do? It's about as crazy as if a student was to come to me and be like, I want to go to the NBA or the NFL. All right, what position do you play? Oh, I haven't played in a game yet. So how do you expect anybody to know what you can do when you have no game tape? And so that's basically what I'm trying to do in my personal life now. So just basically between the projects, the personal projects I do off on the side, the podcast, things like that, like it's a resume builder for what's to come when I'm done with the current professional career I have now. Because ultimately in my 40s, I do want to pursue a career in media. But for now, I'm doing what I have to do to, keep you provide for the family. Provide for the family. No, I do not have kids, but it's coming. One of these days, I'm gonna hop on the show and you'll be like, yo, it's going down. But until then, man, just working on building a resume outside of work hours. That's ultimately my why, and also the ability to reach out to the ability to have an impact on somebody that may not be, close to us. Like I would say Zay started it. I'll never forget in like 2015, 2016, during the Snapchat era. Yo, Snapchat Mike was a wild boy, but because I was doing skits back then too. But I can credit Zay for being one of the first people that I saw putting out content that was different from everybody else. Like, and mind you, we're talking like post Vine era, because like Vine kind of died off by then. It was still kind of thing, but not really. Um, but he was the first person that like do motivational messages to kick off the day and things like that. And that was the coolest thing to me. And so I credit him for me starting to do. I 1000% will give Zay credit. Like, yes, I saw the messages you were putting out, and I was like, you know what, that's cool. Let me try that. And so between the two of us, that's why you look on the page now. Look on the IG page now, the Buffet IG page. I will put that information on the screen so y'all can see. Like, the reason why the page is filled with videos and short messages for y'all to hear is because like folks been doing this for a while. Like, it's going on almost a decade that the whole motivational message thing has been a thing. So all we're doing is finally packaging our talents and putting it out there for the world to see and enjoy. And so the whole reason to get back to that for me was seeing so many people that I know pass away, and just the reality of like, yo, you legit don't know how long you have here. Like, you just don't know when your number will be called. Nobody knows the day nor the hour. So while I'm here, just make the most of it. I'm not gonna hold y'all. Like, since I've been out in Germany, I've gone through phases where I just exist. I exist. I just go through the motions, and it's like, look, I'm just feeling stuck, and that's the worst feeling a person can feel. And I'm being ridiculously vulnerable with y'all right now, but and I do not like being vulnerable, but it comes with the territory. Um, just that feeling of being stuck, or feeling like I call it the hamster wheel effect, where you know what you're doing, you're doing something, but that something that you're doing, you don't feel like you're getting anywhere. Like, that's the absolute worst feeling in the world. And so my way to combat that was to find new ways to be productive, find different ways to be productive, whether that was volunteering at the school, um, getting involved with the fraternity, doing random side missions for people here and there. Like, also, shout out to Lieutenant Colonel Henry Shooter Sims. And during this time, being in the fog of life, just he too started a podcast a couple of years ago called Sensation Nation. Shameless plug. He started a podcast called Sensation Nation, and he asked me, "Hey, can you edit the videos for my podcast and things like that?" His wife actually taught me some things about editing videos and things like that. So not only was it an opportunity to get back to graphic design, which I'm passionate about, but I've also learned some things along the way from his wife, who also does the same thing that I'm passionate about. So I'm thankful to him for that opportunity to learn and practice my craft and continue to gain experience in this realm of graphic design. It's situations like that, the Stuttgart Legacy Drumline. I never thought, I'll be perfectly honest with y'all, I never thought about once I graduated from A&T, like I legit thought, all right, it's a wrap. Like, I will never I will never get back to caring about drumline this much again, because what I do in my career will not enable me to have the same kind of opportunities that I did in college, as far as like the drum line goes. I never thought I'd perform in front of another large group of people again, ever. Like, so just coaching the kids and being able to every now and then step in and perform in front of large crowds again. I mean, it's a feeling like anybody that has once been there can relate. Like once you done something for God, no, hold up, from sixth grade to junior in college. So we're talking a solid 9-year run of doing something consistently over and over again and dedicating yourself to a craft, and then you graduate and it's over. You know, it's I never thought I would have the opportunities that I had, and so I'm thankful for Lieutenant Colonel Sims. I'm thankful for Coach Clarence Everett for providing these unique opportunities in my career that I never thought I'd get again. And so that's ultimately what 2024 taught me, man. Just don't remain stuck. Like find your way out of whatever you consider being stuck. You know, whatever fog you're in, there's always a way out. You know, there's and and on top of that, you don't have to do things the way people explain them to you. Let me explain. Find your way. Yeah, are y'all remember them corny K-Swiss commercials? I'll wear my K-Swiss, you know, put your spin on it. Like, no, legit, like put your spin on it. Like put your twist on life, man. Like I say this constantly, like be the author of your autobiography, live an autobiography life. Be the author of your story. Don't let somebody tell your story for you, because they may not do it justice. They may not, you know, you may not live the life that you were destined to live when you're constantly reading from a script that someone else wrote. Like write your own script for this for your life, you know. I highly I will foot some that to the T. Every chance I get to be in front of a camera, every chance I get to be behind a microphone, I will gladly say every time, man, look, write the script for your life. Put your twist on it, put your spin on it, whatever corny phrase get proves that point, or whatever gets the point across. All day, all day for sure. And that's 2024, man. Once again, anybody that watches this video, I greatly appreciate you. Anybody that supports the movement, I can't thank you enough, because you know how can I say this nicely? People come up to me and they thank me for my service and things like that, and it's cool. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate the appreciation, but when it comes to things like this, that I'm passionate, like when it comes to things like this, things that I'm passionate about, man, that appreciation is double, because like this legit is, you know, something I'm passionate about. Oh snap. We got somebody in the building. We got somebody in the building. But no, we're gonna bring Motivational Zay to the stage. We got Motivational Zay in the building. But while he's getting situated, what I was basically saying was, you know, put your spin on life, man. Like, don't just settle for a script, like what people tell you should do, you know, because who are they nobody knows you better than you. You know, nobody can tell you how to live your life, because like it's your decisions. Like you live with those decisions. So if you're gonna live with the consequences of these decisions, you might as well live a life that you want to live, you know. So Zay, to get you caught up, I pretty much ran down my 2024 month by month things, significant events that happened, and overall just lessons learned, things like that. So whenever
Okay.
whenever you're ready, man, the floor is yours, man. let the people know how is Zay's 2024. And I will tell you this right now for the people and to you to your face, seeing the moves you made in 2024 was motivating, bro. Like I was explaining how I was in a rut and how I was kind of stuck in my own world. But it's people like you, it's people like Will, it's people like Marcus, it's people like Dom, it's people like Dion, it's people in my career field, my mentors that I look up to. Seeing them progress and make the moves that they do, it is inspiring. And so I thank you for being the trendsetter that you are, making the moves that you did, and stepping out, taking that leap of faith. That's basically what I'm saying. People that take those leaps of faith, because I know it's not easy. Like especially like when we talked about you writing a book, the endeavors that you embarked on. I know it's not easy. So it was so it was dope to see you on your conquest to take over in ways outside of just your professional career and even in your professional career, like seeing somebody who's able to do both. Because like let's face it, a lot of people will say, oh, I am stuck, because I definitely have said this. I actually said it earlier. I was feeling stuck, and a huge part of that was because of my occupation. But for you were able to balance and do both. So I commend you on that. But with that being said, man, the floor is yours, man. Zay, how was your 2024, man? What was some Lessons learned.
Um, well, really, I would say, man, you know, I've been in the mentality of do it scared. Whether you don't know exactly how it's going to turn out, whether you don't know the outcome, well, I just said that, but what the outcome is going to be, you don't know how to plan it or anything else. But the best thing that you can do is start with what you know.
Yeah.
Start with step one. And one of the things is I had to be open minded to uh, be able to change the plans at any given time, because you sometimes you go into these things not knowing what to expect, and then sometimes you gotta just adapt to the changes as you go along. You learn as you go, and I had to be open minded to do that. Like, okay, uh even though I don't know what it is, I still see the what the outcome's supposed to be. I don't know the steps in between, but hey, what I can do is start with what I know to do. Whether it and that was one of the things is, and the one of the thing about the book is, um I didn't know how to exactly write it. I didn't know. I really didn't know, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't know what that the manuscript that when you write something like that, it's called the manuscript. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, okay. I didn't even know from that point of view, and I had to really educate myself on that. And the thing about it is, I just the whole process of it is I just started with page one. Start writing. I, well, really, I started with a content page of what I thought each chapter would be, and then I started writing what that is. And my first page that I write wasn't the first page of the chapter. It was actually the synopsis of the book, what it was about, and that's how you got the. If you turn to the back, that's how you got the little brief summary of it all. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then from there on, all the other stuff just came into play. And there was times when I just put it down and all that stuff. But you just build and you grow, man. There were times when I put it down and I had to reread it, and I would discourage myself from continuing on. Like, I don't know, Zay. I don't know. And you got to just push through it. And that's the biggest thing is I just like in the book, I state I don't want to have regret of not finishing. If I started something, that could have been the shot that goes in, but I don't know because I stopped in the middle of it. So
Yeah,
just like Kyrie said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
there we go.
You got to do it. You owe it to yourself to push past those doubts, push past those things, and just do it. And even if it's not as successful as you think, well, it is. It will be successful as you make it because you stepped out of your comfort zone to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And see, when I every time I get discouraged, I remember that book, and I said, I did that before, and that was out of my complete comfort zone. So why not keep on doing something else? And that's how the business came in play. That's how the nonprofit came in place. That's how I'm doing this stuff at work. Like, hey, I don't know the outcome, but I know I can do it. I can produce this for you. And dude, that's I have noticed that, especially in your career, once people know that you have the imagination to create stuff, they're gonna keep on giving you stuff to create.
1000%. More work, but guys, more good work, man.
Yeah, we got some more good work. Yeah, and that builds your confidence up to the level that yeah, I'm pretty much unstoppable. I can do this and everything else, and you just keep on going. Uh, and that's what it is, man. Even I would say this. I felt stuck, and sometimes I still feel stuck because I'm like, man, I know I see where I'm going. It's just I'm not getting there fast enough, or it's overwhelming to the point where I just don't know exactly what else to do. And then I that's where I stop and I start paying attention to what's around me, and I start having the attitude of gratitude to be thankful for all the things that are around me, and then I just start with the first step again. Let's reevaluate the thing and go from there. Just like how you starting up this the podcast thing back over. I mean, I'm pretty sure you probably fought yourself about it beforehand.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
as we talked about it and everything, you said, "Hey, let's just do it," and that's exactly what you did. So I
Absolutely.
commended you for getting out your comfort zone and starting it back. So I just I clearly told somebody the other day. Back then, we was men that was trying to figure it all out, and now we're older men still trying to figure it all out.
Still trying still trying to figure it out, man. Like, still.
we might
Yeah.
have some we might have some questions back then that we can answer right now, but we still trying to figure it all out.
That's it. Because even the game is evolved. Because like back then we were on Zoom, like everybody was on Zoom.
Yeah,
And from Zoom to StreamYard, like I had to sit back and learn the game, man. Like, cause Zoom, I mean, yeah, it served its purpose. It was the launch pad. It just it kicked things off for us, and here we are. So I'm thankful for those first few episodes that we did on Zoom. I'm thankful for what the platform provided, but seeing that there's better out there, seeing that better quality out there, you can do more the features and
yeah,
whatnot. So many more features. It's just learning. Same game, just learning how it's evolved. Yeah, look, the same way it's literally in the title. Brothers unified for freedom, evolving together. The same way we're evolving as people, we gotta see how the game is evolving and adapt to it, man. Because that's what life is gonna do. Like we don't fight wars the same way we once did. Like folks ain't
yeah,
shooting muskets and and things like that. Now it is unmanned aircraft and a bunch of other stuff that I'm not gonna talk about on here. But the game has evolved. Like the game of basketball, like that now centers are shooting threes. Back
yeah,
in the day, like you couldn't even imagine the thought of Hakeem Olajuwon, somebody like that shooting a three. No, like they in the post, they dunking on people, they embarrassing people, they throwing your shot out the gym. Like no, like things evolve over time, and you just gotta adapt and overcome, man. And when you're speaking on kicking the podcast out, like I spoke to it slightly earlier. I it was a matter of seeing so many people pass away that are close to our age, man. Like that was like, to me, it seemed like last year. I speak for myself when I say, like, I've been fortunate that it hadn't been too many people around me close to me pass away. But last year was the first time it's like, yo, like it was like 3 or 4 classmates, a homie that I was in the fantasy football league with, who I marched in the band with in college. Like it just felt like it was just getting closer and closer. So with not knowing, you know, when our time is, it's like, look, I refuse to live life like this, feeling like that stuck feeling. Where it's just like, all right, go to work, come home, go to work, come home, go to work, come home, like that rut, man. Just gotta find ways to recharge and inspire yourself sometimes, man.
Yeah, you know, that's a good thing that you said. That is, sometimes you can get into that little rut, and sometimes all it takes is just for you to just do something small, as taking yourself out to eat, going to the bar to watch the game or something, to release them endorphins, and just to breathe when you get off work. Just to say that, you know, I got out the door my normal today, and I did something different. Yeah, yeah, you just gotta continue to do that. But it is crazy how really no man knows the day of the hour right now.
Nobody knows, man.
And it really getting crazy out here, man. I just last year I buried somebody I grew up with from like baby, man. It was my auntie, my mom's sister, and you know, and that kind of hit home for me, and because I was like, my goodness, and we we was close, but then I went to college, and then we kind of fell by the wayside, but we were still in contact with each other and everything, and we still checked up on each other, but but yeah, it was just so real to me, and seeing her in a casket, I was like, wow. You know, it just it's like it's certain moments in your life where you just take a seat back, and it's just like a reality check. Like, my goodness, you're really not that older than me, but we was growing up together, and all that. So it's just that it was just a moment of, dang, this can really happen.
Right, it can happen. It legit can happen, man. It's no different than when we used to be in driver's ed, and they used to warn us about car accidents and things like that. And of course, what's everybody thinking next? Man, I ain't getting in a car accident, man. It ain't gonna happen to me. Do I even? I could do a whole episode of how many car accidents I've been in. Like, yo, I could talk at length. I can tell you exactly how I felt in the moment, what happened, what transpired, what happened before, during, and after. Like, I can break it down almost like an analyst on ESPN.
Yeah, yeah. I can break down a couple of them for you. Cause man, at one point I was getting worried. I was like, look, I'll drive you around. we gotta do something different here.
Right. But it's just trying to do too much, man. Like, it just gotta slow down, man. Like, and so I'm thankful for those moments where life does say, hey, Mike, not like that. Not like that, but in the more subtle ways where life will be like, hey, you gotta take a knee, you gotta sit on the bench for a little bit, go on injured reserve, just relax. And then on top of that, just and I was speaking earlier on how there are members of this podcast who have been content creators for a while. Like, before it was cool to be a content creator, folks was content creators. One thing I respect about everybody on the buffet, we went to HBCUs before it was cool to go to HBCUs. Like, a lot of stuff that was like heavily, I don't want to make it sound like it was trendy for a minute, but there was a lot of things that we were doing before, social media and everybody hyped it up.
Yeah.
So, because I was speaking on, like, making video. I know the first video we did that sounded wild crazy. No. Pause, whatever the new saying is. nowadays. Now, I don't, the one that comes to mind, I don't want to put homie out there like that. But you know, the first when we did the whole MLK Malcolm X skit, or that
Oh,
from
yeah.
that's 2015 stuff. Like
Yeah.
that was before folks was really on YouTube, really putting you know skits together and things like that, putting videos out there like that, you know. So
That's
and I
true.
know
Wow.
and I know prior to that, there was probably projects you were working on before we even met each other.
Yeah.
And I was breaking down like first project I did was like in 2005, 2006 when I was a sophomore, junior. I think I was I was a sophomore in high school. It was pretty much the guy that's about to go back into office. It was literally the black version of that, like me as a teenager doing a black's SNL skit about that. That was me. Like what would happen if I was president?
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the vibes of a 14, 15-year-old Mike Ward. if he was president. But no, man. Yeah, man, just gotta capitalize off the moments and appreciate the situations that's before us, because those windows of opportunity are going to always be there. You know,
Yeah.
doors open and close on a regular basis. So just capitalizing off of those opportunities and appreciating the people that's in our life for the duration that they're here, man.
Yeah, I agree. But isn't it full circle though that somehow we're always back in front of the camera?
It's really, man, you know.
I was like, yeah, I was just thinking about that. I was like, my goodness, I had forgot all about the skit we did for MLK and Malcolm X thing, and then I remember the franchise files that you had going on, and for schools and everything. So I was like, maybe something's gonna, God always have a way of training us before we get to the bigger task. Some things we'll never see coming, but we can always like think that we're learning these skills and learning the way how the camera angles and everything else for some bigger purpose, uh, for maybe for later on or something like that. So it's just always amazing. You would never thought that these skills would not be used at in a later day at a bigger platform, but it seems like it always do.
Yeah, and I will say this now to anybody who watches this video. I'm not gonna say we the next Ryan Coogler and Eric Thomas, but don't be surprised within the next decade, or don't be surprised within the next few years when Zay is on a big stage speaking in front of a large group of people and they pay him to do it. Don't be surprised if you look on Netflix or one of these streaming platforms and you see a show that is eerily similar to a scrawny black kid who's at a HBCU who performed on the drum line, and he's walking around campus with a handy cam documenting his life.
Mm-hmm.
And there are also two other characters next to him. One of them who used to have dreads, and another one who is musically inclined, who also happens to be on this podcast. And also in the later seasons, don't be surprised when two other characters come along. One of them, who you remember that motivational speaker we were talking about earlier, that's one of them. And the other one is a guy who recently started his own fitness program.
Yeah.
So you don't be surprised. Oh yeah, also along the way, a gentleman that constantly wears beanies and creates cool card games for the culture. Yeah, don't be surprised. Like I'm telling y'all now, like don't be surprised when these things happen, because, and I was also telling people, the whole reason I even started doing motivational messages is because the ones I was seeing you do on Snapchat. Like I was saying, like people been doing this for a while. We're talking 2015, and you were probably doing them beforehand. But I know when I first started noticing and paying attention, like, oh, Snap Zay's different. Like I know when I get on social media and I look on and I click his name, I'm gonna see something different. You know, instead of the usual you know, a bunch of friends getting together, taking shots together, and if that's your thing, cool. But when I'm looking and scrolling, and that's all I see, video after video after video, and then it's broken up by, you know, Zay saying, encouraging people to get after it today, you know, to either kick off the day or to wind down the day. You know, I commend you and I thank you for doing that, because honestly, if there's no motivational Zay, I can honestly say people would get a different version of me. They wouldn't get this polished version of me, because we have the reps and sets and been doing this for almost a decade. As far as the motivational messages, they sound the way that they do. Like it's not like for anybody watching this video, I challenge you. You don't even have to post it. I challenge you to just wake up and just try to say something inspirational on the spot. Record that video and then take as many takes as you need.
Yeah.
Because it's not a one shot, one kill. Sometimes it is, but for the most part, it ain't. And then you will understand, okay, it's not a.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? And I started doing that because I felt like there's a need to say something positive in people's life at the time, because like you said, like back then the algorithm wasn't as proficient as it is right now. And you know, it don't make the necessary things that you used to like so proficient that you're gonna keep seeing it as it is now. But back then, you know, once you follow stuff, you know, that's what you follow and you wake up to every day. And whether you like wanted it or not, you was gonna get it. But yeah, and I started doing that. I was like, man, it's time for a change. And you know, and that took me out of my comfort zone too. There was plenty of time I would be like, nah, man, I shouldn't have said it that way. I'm not gonna post this and all that stuff. And then I end up posting it at a later date, and somebody be like, Zay, that was exactly what I needed to hear. And I'm like, wow. And there was times when I was really paying attention to the lights and everything too. And I was like, you know, and I kind of left the because I think you and I had the deal of we don't care how many likes we get as long as we touch like one person, make that one person day better. We did our job for that day,
Yeah.
and like I can honestly say I took my eyes off of that and I started looking at the lights and everything, and I was like, man, you know, I don't know if people liking it or anything else, and you can get really discouraged from that. But then again, man, I can tell you over the time now that a lot of people from my hometown, they would see it but don't like it. And that hurts my nerve when they be like, dude, you really touched me on this on your messages and everything else. But you didn't like it though.
Let's say something, damn it.
Right.
Let me know.
Let me know. Let me know I'm in the right direction. But
I did something for you, do something for me.
yeah, exactly. But dude, but after I kept on hearing the stories about people was literally telling me that they would be on lunch break and people would stop in in a room just to hear what I had to say. So
Mhm.
that one person on Instagram is reaching 10 to 12 people in one room by just turning up their volume so and wanted to hear what I had to say. Man, my coworkers was even listening to, like, they would be on travel and they'll come back and say, "Hey, that was a good video." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then they would be like, "No, we listen to you when we travel and everything else. We listen to your messages in the morning to start our day." And that
Mhm.
that one camera was reaching 5 to 6 people depending on how many went on the travel. But they're reaching 5 or 6 people, still not liking it. I'm just saying, still not liking it. But it was just it changed my whole mindset of how I viewed these videos now. And then one on that really hit home was like a grandmother just recently, when I was down in my hometown. One of the grandmothers sent their granddaughter to me and say, "Hey, can you go and get Zay and tell him to come and talk to me?" And she was like, "Baby, I see what you're doing, and I make you out an example to my kids to say, he didn't make it out because of sports or anything, but he's doing something different,
There we
and you
go.
can do the same thing too. Still no lights. I'm
It's
just
the-
saying." Still no lights, but the impact,
Mhm.
it's the impact, and you can't measure that in numbers at that point, because it's a whole different dynamic from seeing a like button to what impact are you making. And
Yeah.
then at that point, it goes into a deeper meaning to me when I post these videos. And it goes to show you, you don't know who's watching.
You really
Out of
don't.
I don't care if it's 50 or 1 million, you can reach a lot of people by just doing something that you think that is like so oblivious that you might be like, I
Mhm.
did it, but you never know what an impact that you making in somebody's life. It's about that dash, right? The dash.
The brother
That
dad, bro.
that dash can be a whole different meaning from just making that small little tweak to you give somebody that fire that need to be lit and go from there. So I was like, okay, I see what you're doing. I see what God is doing in this. So I'm not paying. I said, and I told myself I'm not paying attention to the lights no more. I'm gonna just keep on doing what I'm doing, and that's what she told me. She said, "You keep up doing what you're doing, and please continue to let us be a light out here, and continue to post what you're doing and everything else, so people can know about it." And then I always think about this as well. Is we always talked about what legacy we leave behind down the years, all this stuff. Let's think about it now. All the stuff we're posting now and everything else, our kids gonna see it, our grandkids gonna see it, and it's gonna. I don't know if YouTube or anything gonna be like obsolete at that point. It might not be the cool thing, but when they Google us or something like that, they'll be like, "Wait, that granddad right there."
Mhm. Yep.
So
Yep.
I'm I mean it was cool, and that's something that we could always refer to in the future, to be like, "Hey, that was your granddad and what he was doing out there." So um so that's leaving the legacy too. What what things that are out there on the internet that might stay out there that's going to benefit somebody in your family later. So
Absolutely.
that right there, it opened my eyes, man. I'm telling you, my eyes are being opened on a daily basis right now.
For sure. You hit on a huge point, bro. The analytics will make you say, man, forget this. Like, look at the analytics will make you be like, yeah, I'll quit. But no, one thing that opened my eyes, I think I want to say it was a video you posted on Facebook, and because the buffet page is public,
Hmm.
man, there will be people from parts of the world I didn't even think existed that will repost it. Like we can see who shares the video and
Yeah,
things
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And so just seeing complete randoms, I don't even know how the video even got to them. But when they share it and seeing the person, it's like, Oh snap!
Yeah.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
this made it all the way to where. So I mean, that part that's the
Yeah.
dopest part, man. Like just seeing just it goes back to like, man, if we can just leave an impact on one or a few, maybe two, and that's all that matters, man. And to your point, man, the definitely the view count will be higher than the like count always. Like, it's not for anybody else that wants to get into this content creator world and you are a non-celebrity. I'm gonna tell you right now, until you put in those years of work and build your fan base up, you are going to go through a period of, and it can discourage you. It is very discouraging. I'm not gonna lie. You can go through a period where you're caught up in the analytics, and because the likes aren't where you want or the views aren't where you want to be. But at the end of the day, you just got the same thing I would tell anybody in any field. Like, just never forget your why. Like, always remember why you started out on this journey. You know, I genuinely enjoy like editing videos. Like, I can wake up, I can come home from work, take a nap, and wake up at an ungodly time and edit a video. But if you would tell me to wake up and do like homework or anything else that's productive in life, that work might not get done until the next day. That might be a tomorrow's problem. But editing a video, especially depending on who it's for and what it's for, man, I can do that anytime. Anytime. Like, I will I can put the controller down, I can stop eating, I can it's a passion, you know. It's therapeutic for me. Like, when you were talking about letting off endorphins earlier, like it's a serious dopamine hit when I get done with a video I've been working on for a while. It's like something about like having the finish
completion.
Man, what, bro? I don't know if it's the gamer in me, but I don't know what it is. But if I start something, I have to finish. Like, this is why I don't mess with puzzles and stuff like that, because I know, like, once I start putting the outside pieces together, I'm not leaving until the rest of the puzzle's put together. Like, unless I just have an appointment or I know Kitten have to be somewhere, like, I will be there for a while. And so just that's one thing I'll talk to my therapist about. Is like, why do I have this ridiculous need to finish, to conquer, not just finish, but to conquer and obliterate things, or even if it's playing a game I'm not even familiar with. It's like, yo, I gotta have the high score. My name gotta be on the high score. Like, it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's Napoleon complex. For those that don't know, like, you're talking about somebody who's like 5'70", 150. I'm not a colossal person. I'm not a tall person. Zay, on the other hand, Zay is significantly taller, buffer, stronger, and debatably faster. Don't get it twisted. The boy can move. Let me not say the boy.
Back then, I don't know now. They like I said, we ain't getting no younger. I just bust the tire the other day trying to run fast.
Bro, look, man, the check engine light will come on for the knees immediately, bro. Like, look, like there's times I would joke around and like act like I'm gonna just take off running. Look.
Yeah, true story. I used to be able to take off that wheel. Now I got to think about it.
You gotta look when y'all get to this age, because both of us are in our 30s. I'm about to turn 34 Monday, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Monday. Yeah.
I will not put Zay's business out there, but just know he's in his 30s as well. But when y'all get to this age, when y'all get to this age, I will warn you, you cannot just. You need a warm start. You can't just it's literally like starting a car. You gotta let that thing sit for a little bit before you take off. Otherwise, you're gonna be in a world of hurt, literally.
You sure will.
And that is also humble. Like, bro. So I was talking about when I played flag football this past year, bro. Last year and this year was the first time I was legit scared I was gonna get injured. Every other year, it's like, man, let me go out here and do my thing because I know I'm faster than everybody. The ABCDX, but no.
Yeah.
No, I'm getting older and the competition is getting younger.
And that testosterone will hit you, and you'll be thinking that you can get do all that stuff. and found out quick. Like, oh yeah, mornings are different now when I wake up.
It's different, but the soreness is different. Like before, when people go, "Oh, you might want to, sit in a tub of Epsom." So, I got this. Listen, you might want to sit in the tub with Epsom. I get it. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I understand 1000%. But there is also a reality
Yeah,
that you just cannot jump out of bed, especially if you haven't been being active as you once were. You cannot just jump out of bed and do the things you once. I cannot walk into the gym right now and bench press over 200 pounds like I once could once upon a time. For some people, that's nothing. For a malnourished person like myself, that is an accomplishment.
Yeah, you got to warm it up now. That's what I was telling my coworker. I took a 2 month hiatus from the gym, and I was like, all right, I'm about to get back in here. And he was like, "Oh, you want to work out with me?" And I was like, "Nah, hold on. I got to warm this body up first. So I got to do a different workout before I get back to the way I was."
Bruh.
It's just so funny that I gotta say that, but it's so true. I gotta start myself out a little different. I can't jump back into it.
You really can't, and we're laughing about it, but I ain't gonna hold you. Like when it first dawned on me, I was like, man, damn, like it was disheartening, man. It's like mortality is real, man. Like, and just understanding, like, look, it's better, like, because look, it ain't like I did sports in high school. Like, growing up, it's not like I was the most athletic person in the world. I would be the first to say, no, I did not play football. I was the drummer. Could I run fast? Yes, but I was not. The agility was not there. The speed was there, but the agility was not. And so now dealing with these, I'll never forget. There was this one time I was going up against this dude, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I used to play for a D1 school," and it's like, so this, bro, go to the league. Like, leave us alone, bro. The intramurals are for the people who wish they could be athletes, not for the people who are, oh yeah, I played at the Air Force Academy. I did this, that. And I'm like, bro, if you go to the league, go get an NIL deal. Leave us alone. But no, and all jokes aside, man, like it's real. Like you gotta warming up is a thing. Stretching is another thing.
Yeah,
it's a thing, man. You got to do it.
Yeah. You used to just go out there and start running. Now you got to be like, hold on, let me stretch.
and to me, I used to think, man, stretching is such a waste of time. Like, yo, let me just get after. Like, the ball's right there. Yo, check up. Let's get it.
Yeah, exactly. Nah,
right. If I run a fast break, if I was to play a game of hoops with somebody right now, after the first fast break, I'm probably sitting down for the rest of the game. All it's gonna take is that one fast break. And that's actually the one where I actually run down the court. Not if I steal the ball and launch it. If I steal the ball and launch it, then yeah, we good for another 3 possessions. But if I steal the ball and have to run down the court full speed with somebody chasing after me, then I might be one and done. I might have to sit down for the rest of the day. And so in 2025, we are going to work on these things.
Yeah, endurance and all that stuff.
Because one day we're gonna have kids, and I will be darned if an offspring of mine thinks he can best me. I have everybody had, and I hate using this term because it's so run down and overused. I have toxic competitiveness. Look, it can be something I've never done before, but if somebody challenges me and it's like, bet, bitch.
Yeah. Same here. I'm very, very, same here. I gotta beat you. I don't care what it is. I gotta beat you. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if we rolling in the dirt. I gotta do more rolls than you.
There we go. No. So it's funny. So like for the viewers, so it's funny because Zay and I'll give y'all a sneak preview. So basically, we were talking about playing. I think it was either NCAA or Madden. We were talking about playing a game on a live show one day. And I'm not gonna hold y'all. When he introduced the idea, I'm like, bro, He's probably about to whoop my ass. Cause like once you get older, like once you get older, you don't have time to like put in this. Like when you're younger, like when we're in high school playing Madden and betting on games and stuff like that, it's different because we actually have
Yeah.
time to, look at everybody's roster, figure out the strengths and weaknesses of each team and get a playbook together and things like that. Look, we have jobs,
Yeah.
we volunteer,
Yeah.
philanthropy. Like folks are actually trying to be good citizens and upstanding individuals.
Yeah.
We don't have time to learn this. Like we
not
do
to go
not
in
have
detail like Cam Newton they'll be going into. I'm like, well, that's something they just do
yeah,
anyway. But
yeah.
but some of these dudes, man, they be on this game. Like the game come out on Thursday, and they already at 100 hours on Sunday. I'm like,
Ridiculous.
my goodness,
Ridiculous.
like I'm having a time just trying to keep up with just playing it for 3 hours. Like,
Thank you. Like what can I survive the story mode first? Like
right.
can I just get through the story mode? Like I know when Call of Duty dropped, man, like one of the drumline coaches, he was telling me about it. It's like I've already logged so many hours already. And it's like, man, it's to be young again.
Yeah, I
To be
know,
young
right?
again, man.
I know, right? Yeah, young and less responsibilities.
Bruh, to be young again. And it's crazy because we gonna have kids one day and they're gonna be doing the same thing, and we're gonna look at them and be like, if you don't look, go talk to somebody, go outside, like go ride your bike, go be active. But I'm talking to my friends through the game, and that's fine. That's cool.
That's cool.
But I
Tell
need
them
you
to go outside too.
Run this play in real life.
Right. This is true. This is true.
Especially if NIL is still a thing.
Well, you might have AI robots running around at that point that plays with the kids outside.
Right, that is a whole nother episode in itself. Like, don't get me started. And y'all want to act like iRobot and these movies didn't come out. Like we haven't seen this play before.
Yeah. I was just looking at Ready Player One. You remember that movie?
Absolutely.
I was like, man, that's the metaverse on a whole nother level right there.
You know what's funny? I feel like the movie industry, I feel like the people who write these scripts, they either plant the seed or they already know all hell's about to break loose. And they're trying to warn us in the most subtle fashion.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I'll never
I
forget.
believe
I will never forget, like around the 2010 time, like there was a period where it was nothing but zombie movies coming out. And it had people thinking like, oh, this should happen. Like this could happen. Like there's gonna be something. Like you didn't know what the zombie was a metaphor for or what it represented, but it's a takeover. A takeover.
Oh yeah.
It's just a matter.
It get in these CGIs and all that stuff, man. It gets crazier and crazier.
Yeah,
and
man.
Because I'm just learning the green screen effect and how to get rid of the lines that outline you and all that stuff. And I'm like, man, the stuff that they can do with green screen is just crazy right now.
Mhm.
And I've been watching a couple of videos and everything on it, and I was like, so wait, what? That's crazy. I'm just, I'm like,
Yeah.
what? So I ain't got to do all this setting up and anything. I can just find me a little picture and
Mhm.
I'm in that thing. I was like,
You in
that's
there.
crazy.
Bro, in your free time, just go on YouTube and look at like behind the scenes footage from like Marvel movies and things like that, how they do it,
It's
man.
crazy. It's crazy. It is crazy, especially how they did the Hulk. I was like, this dude is literally in a green suit, and and the only thing that they really covering up that's not really covered up is his facial features. And I'm like, this dude is a regular dude, but I was like, that's crazy. That is crazy. The whole Thanos thing was crazy. Like, it's just crazy. I was like, I was like, so I could take a normal character and just make him to whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. No motion, body capture and things like that. It's wild, man.
yeah, it is. It is. It
It's
really is.
it's wild. So once again, y'all, in a few years, don't be surprised when
Right,
it's
right.
because as soon as we figure out this game, look, Zay and I will reverse engineer something in a heartbeat. Like, don't play. Like once we figure, just like the slogan says, like yo, a lot of platforms may look like us, but even with the recipe, you can't cook like us, man.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
once we
Oh, okay,
figure it out,
okay.
once we figure this out,
Oh yeah,
it is over.
it's over with.
It
It's
is.
over with. And once we figure it out and we can do it cheaper,
Man,
we can do
look
the
here.
same the quality for cheaper. Oh, it's over with.
Let me
It's
tell y'all
over
something. All these movies on Tubi, yo, we on your helmet. Like,
with.
why, wait until we have time and opportunity.
Oh yeah. Oh
It
yeah.
is over. As soon as we push these retirement buttons, it's
Oh,
over.
oh, it's over with.
That's
Uh,
the worst thing
we
you.
just gonna have a better writers. That's it.
That's it, man. That's it. That's it. No, let me stop playing, man. Hey, look, shout outs to everybody. Look, get your coins, man.
Yeah.
Get your coins. Do what you do. However, when we step in that space, we on your helmet. So enjoy this time while we distracted with these careers and trying to be upstanding citizens. Because as soon as that time is up,
Hmm. Yeah.
pops knuckles.
Oh yeah. This is just practicing right now.
That's it, man. Look here. This is just scrimmaging right now. This is
Yeah.
this
Everybody got to
is
have a mixtape before they get to the real album.
there we go. Look here, man. Hey, look, this is our SoundCloud era. As soon as we blow up, well, it's over. It's a
Oh
wrap.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm in agreement with that, bro. I'm in agreement with that.
That is
Oh,
it. Boy, the second we blow up, boy, I'll say this for myself. When we blow up, I am not going to be the same. I will be different. I won't be brand new, but I'm gonna be different.
it
So
might
y'all
be
better.
some of those old little things there, but you gonna stay up. I'm gonna be different.
Hey, I'm gonna be an evolved version of myself. I am going to be different. So for those that have been supporting since day one, man, trust and believe. VIP passes, whatever. Like when we in town and y'all got time, hey, it's on me. Whatever blessings we get to the party, hey, enjoy the seats from the sidelines.
Oh yeah.
enjoy the seats from the sidelines, because trying to tell
Mm.
you, trying to tell you.
Yeah, yeah. Most definitely. Oh, but you said something that triggered a thought. I was watching this movie. It's called The Forge, and one of the questions that the dude asked in the movie, and it popped out at me, and I said I was going to do this, but I haven't done yet. And he said, "What type of man you see yourself being?" And I said I was going to take it up, and I was going to make a note and write that at the top, and then explain what type of man that I could see myself being in the next 5 and 10 years. But it jumped out to me, and I was going to say it on here uh, to be like start a conversation point. But we can do that later if you want to. But it was kind of like a reality check for me, like in the next 5 years, they would be 41. Yeah, 41.
No, we're gonna do like everybody else do. Yes, they will be 27 in the next 5 years. No, but all jokes, right? Get into it. So go ahead and get into it. But there's definitely this. There will be a part two to this conversation. Matter of fact, this will probably be a continuous, reoccurring theme.
Mhm.
Get into it, man. Hey, look, what's 5 years looking like, man?
Man, I said in the next 5 years. I haven't wrote it down and think about it yet, but I did say that I wanted to keep my heart posture. The heart for people and want to help and all those type of things. And then I said that I have. Oh, that now this was a good one that came to mind was I have to control my access now. You know, it has to be limited. Oh, that hit home for you?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can't be as free as I once was to everybody. I gotta have control access to me now. Um, and um, I think that the best and the third one, I always want to give back and everything else, but like now, oh no, that's how I put it. I said I now that I'm in rooms that others can't get in, I want to speak on behalf of those others that can't get in the room.
That part.
And I want to make sure that if I am able to do something for someone that is not on the same level, I want to be able to bring them up to my level and then go from there. So it's all about using my influence in a strategic way, using my influence and strategizing to uplift people in a different way. Like like we once said, is creating that ladder for people to use you as a ladder to get to that other that same room or even higher. So, but those
Absolutely.
are my top three that I discovered right now that I was gonna write down.
Mhm.
Yeah. So how about you? What is your top three? And then we could think about it later and be like, go into conversation. But what you could think about that's your top three that you could see Mike in the next 5 years.
Next 5 years, I definitely want to be a father within the next 5 years.
Mm,
Shift from so right now, kind of on this journey of trying to figure out who I am
okay.
and how I can put the family in the best position possible. So
Okay.
there's just more self awareness and what moves I need to make for in the name of the family. So I guess the three words that come to mind for sure, family, and a sub bullet being fatherhood.
Hmm.
Boundaries, similar to what you said, limit controlling that access.
Yeah.
I have to set boundaries because I hate to say it. One thing I realized about myself in a lot of situations, I will go along to get along, and that's not always
Nah.
good. That's not
Yeah.
always good.
I'm learning that too, bro.
That's not always good because in that, the biggest downfalls in my, I am getting entirely too vulnerable on this podcast. Hey, look, this is the last episode. From here on out, I'm about to be a behind the scene. Like I might turn my camera off and just be the guy that's controlling the the little banner going
Nah.
at the bottom of the. No,
Nah.
I do not like being vulnerable at all. But since we here,
Me either, bro.
I would say a lot of my biggest mistakes and missteps was knowing I have a boundary and still not respecting it, not respecting my own boundaries, and just
Yeah.
allowing things to happen that I know shouldn't happen in my life,
Yeah.
just for the sake of all right, whether it's being conflict averse or just being in a space in a headspace where it's like I really don't feel like dealing with this right now, so I'm just going to survive it and live to fight another day. Like that live to fight another day mentality. And of course that just comes with being an adult. You're going to take losses. Like you're not going to go undefeated. So for anybody watching this, I will say right now, you will not go through life undefeated. You're going to take some losses.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that defines your character is how you bounce back from those losses. And it can either take you out for a couple seasons or you can have a losing season and then bounce back and go to the championship the next season. But I would definitely back to your list. So family, boundaries, and helping others for sure. Because I mean that's always going to be, like you said, continue to have that heart for wanting to do great things, positive things in the community and helping others. I definitely feel like there's a part of me that lets off endorphins, or I feel complete, or I feel whole when I'm
Yeah.
helping others. I feel whole when, I can give to my family. I can be present for my family. I think my biggest issue these past few years, I will be present but not accountable.
Wow.
Like I will be there I will be there physically, but
Mm-hmm.
man, my headspace is elsewhere because I'm either thinking about how to overcome a situation, or I'm thinking about the next move. Like for the longest time, like I hate to say this, I didn't even enjoy graduating college the way I should because I was too busy thinking about either what I didn't accomplish or what my next move is going to be. And so I feel like that played into a lot of how I was in my adolescent years. Because even then, when I was in high school, I was thinking, "Oh, man, I'm about to go to A&T. Like, forget y'all.
Yeah, yeah,
Y'all do what y'all do. Y'all can stay here if y'all want to. Do what you do. I'm about to go to A&T. I'm about to get up out of here." And
yeah.
then close to graduating A&T. Hey, look, it's been real. It's been fun. Love y'all. This campus will always mean something to me. But I gotta get this money. Like, I'm about to get, I'm about to do this military thing and get after these coins or whatever. And so now, and I feel like that has played into why I didn't make the most of a lot of assignments for real, because it's so temporary. Every few years, all right, time to go, time to check out, time to go. And so just not maximizing a lot of opportunities and things like that because of that. So yeah, just being more present and showing up for people more. Like I will be fully transparent and honest with myself. Like there are times I should have definitely shown up more for people. I should have, and I allowed, whether it was the job, whether it's like me being caught up in my own world of woes and things like that. I just couldn't do it. Like I just could not be there the way I should have, and it really does get at me sometimes when I think about it. But moving forward, it's just like I just got to do a better job for the people that I have genuine love for and care for. I got to do a better job of being there for them. So that's one thing I've been wanting to work on in my 30s for sure.
Yeah. But don't but at the same time, I want you to realize though is don't think that you're showing there's gonna be some time that you're not able to show up for people. But
Mhm.
but also you gotta look at who you're showing up for as well. Because that drum line, those kids, and I see how the look in their eyes when they look at you and the other instructors, man. I can tell there's a respect level there, and they are like they look up to you guys as like big brothers and all those type of things. So you keep showing up for them as well, and you don't real and you might not realize it now, but just sitting there playing a cadence with them, that means a lot to them, when especially for the kids that don't get that much attention because their parents are at home, at work, or those things. You showing up in places now, uh and making a bigger impact on them at the time that they need you. Because like I'll be honest, and this is why I took a step back and had a reality check, is when we did the thing, I forget the thing, Institute in
Yeah.
Florence.
Yeah.
And one of the thing was the brothers called me up and asked me, can I come in and help with the students? And they couldn't find any people to help them do their scroll like an alpha thing. So
Hmm.
I helped with that. And the kids came in. I was talking to them and everything. Then we started practicing and everything. And so at one point they got excited about what we're doing and everything else. And then pulled me off pulled me off a date now. Yeah, I forgot that. They pulled me right out the day. Hey, bro, people, can you come and help us out? I'm like, oh, bro, I'm on a date right now. They were like, bring
Yo,
her with you. Bring her with you. I was like, okay. But but the impact didn't hit me until the next day. Because I was telling myself I wasn't gonna go over there because you gotta drive from here to Florence and everything. And I was like, they ain't gonna miss me. They got it in full control. And then I was like, nah, I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go on here to go. I'm gonna go on here to go sacrifice. Let's go. So I went over there, and I kid you not, the first thing that one of the AKAs told me was, "I'm so happy you showed up." And I was like, what do you mean? They was like, the kids been talking about you all day. They really wanted to show you that they got it right and blah 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 blah. And I was like, huh? Well, then you put it that way, I'm glad I showed up
hmm
too. but
yep.
but like I was saying, that right there, it don't really hit you until somebody tell you like, dude, you're making an impact at the level and
Oh man, we lost it.
Where did that go? Oh man.
Um, wow. We wait for him to come back, but no, to his point, he's spot on. Like he is definitely spot on in that regard. Like you don't realize the impact you have on people until they tell you. Like there we go.
oh, I seen Mike do this when I was young. Let me do the same thing so I can impact the next generation. So
Yeah.
it hit me different a little bit, and I just had to share it with you because sometimes we'll feel like we got to just show up for everybody, man.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to it, who shows up for us? When the time we need
Man,
it.
look, that once again, that is I can do a whole episode that, especially being in the military, like because we have to move around the way that we do, and you can relate to this as well, like with your occupation too. Like it is crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave it. We will save this for another episode, but you're spot on, man. Like it is, and that brings me to my next point, man. Definitely got to take care of home before you try to save the world. Like that's something
Yeah.
I had to learn last year because I was trying to be involved with so many things outside of the house
Mm,
to make the time go by here.
yeah.
Especially once because I did talk about when I lost my driver's license. So it's like, all right, how can I productive procrastination? How can I kill time in a positive way? So just getting involved with the frat, volunteering with the students, playing flag football, stuff like that. Just trying to find productive ways to kill that time before I got my freedom back. Yeah, man. Look, I'll tell you the story right quick. I'll give you the summary of what I went over earlier. So basically, in Germany, they don't have like cops out on the autobahn like that. But what they do is they got these cameras, and even through just sporadically throughout the city, like they just got these little cameras
Mhm.
where if you speeding, you'll just see the flash and boom, expect to
Oh,
expect to get the the ticket in the mail.
yeah.
So depending on how long it takes that ticket to get to you, that jump might be double or have an increase in price because it took so long to process. So let's say hypothetically, you got to pay it in 2 weeks, but it gets you to you 3 weeks later. Now the price
Mm.
is going. So when you go on, like you sitting there thinking, all right, 35 euro, all right, cool, whatever. I'll be back speeding again tomorrow. You go online and pay the ticket. You go online to pay the ticket. And that jump done went from 35 to 50 euro. Now it may not sound like it's the ones where like the egregious going up 15 over, 20 over, things like that. And it's like, all right, now it's 150.
Mhm.
You get it 2 weeks later. All right, now it's 175. Now it's 200. Like the more outlandish offenses, that's when it matters. But going like 5 over, and all right, here's a 35 euro, get out of my face. But Yeah, man, just and I will say this right now. I am a huge advocate for that system versus I will gladly take my chances with a speeding camera before I would rather deal with a speeding camera than with somebody who might had a bad day and feels like, let me take it out on this guy. License and registration.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah, yeah,
hey,
yeah.
look, man. You just like you, I just want to get home, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I ain't
Exactly.
here for the foolishness. Let's just get this, do what you need to do, so we both can go home. So
Yeah,
we both can go home, man. Because at the end of the day, that's all I want to do, man. But
yeah, that's true.
no, what was dope just now was you cut out for a minute, but as soon as you came back in, you picked up like almost like you didn't miss a beat.
Oh yeah. So I could like when the picture freezes, I can
Mhm.
still hear you. So I can always just jump right back into it. But
Gotcha.
yeah, sometimes it does freezes and I'll be like, okay, okay, he's still talking. I can hear him. That's good.
Yeah,
But yeah. Yeah. But
bro.
yeah, I got you.
I got nervous for a second. I was like, bro, thing's cooking right now.
Yeah.
Damn it, it was cooking. But no,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, your insight is always appreciated, man. And I the 5 year thing. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about it
Okay.
a lot more often because of course every 5 years, every 3 to 5 years, we change like our priorities and everything changes. Like I'm about to turn 34. The people that knew me when I was in high school don't even know me as an adult. So like
Yeah.
the mentality and everything, the demeanor is completely different. Like it's almost like you don't know me at all at this point because the version of me you once saw and knew is not obsolete, but is so outdated.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
outdated, and I can almost say that to for some people in college. If I can almost say to people at their last assignment, like as time goes on, priorities change, we mature, we evolve as people, and it's like, but do you know this version of me? Like,
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Let me reintroduce myself.
yeah, like,
Let
hey,
me
look, y'all. I know a majority of y'all got. All right, I'm not even gonna give them promotions. I'm not gonna no free promo, but just like your phone has a system update feature, sometimes it does it automatically. Sometimes you gotta manually update it.
yeah,
Like we as people do the same thing. Like,
yeah,
but you don't realize it because you don't go to. There's no box to say you agree to these terms and conditions. It just naturally happens. Like you just naturally gravitate
yeah.
towards different things over time. So yeah, man, bro. This is
It does. It really do, and you will always find yourself upgraded. If you're not just like in the E in brothers is you got to evolve. You know, if you're not evolving, then I feel like you're not living because in
yeah.
life you're supposed to. Because I was just saying this is I hate the word I hate the phrase I am just who I am or I'm just the way I am. No,
Yeah,
that's not you choose the way to be that way. You can
exactly.
always make the change. It may be harder to make some changes than others, but you can decide to evolve and be and make that area that people keep pointing out to you like, hey, this is a problem for you. But you can always make that effort to just, hey, change it up. Just change it. You don't have to always regardless of the excuses that people make, they can say it's in my environment, it's the way I grew up and everything. Cool, I get that. There are some things that you probably need to take some time to get to make those adjustments, but it's okay. Start with step one, walk through it, and stick with it and stay consistent with it. Okay, you didn't mess up on this one as big as you used to do, but hey, you did make an improvement. That's a win for you. So, but that's just the part of evolving. Don't just involve. Don't just uh do not just evolve what you think is good. Evolve what you know is bad as well. You know,
Hmm.
evolve those skills as well. So eventually your weaknesses become strengths, and you can keep on working on that because I have learned in certain seasons in my life that what was once strong is now weak, and what was once weak is strong. So you have to make those necessary changes and learn to adapt and adjust from those situations. So I have definitely took the time out to just do a self evaluation from time to time to say, okay, I'm better in this area this season. Okay, but I ain't so good proficient as I once was in this season. So let me get back on this one. So
You actually brought up a good point because a lot of people won't say, evolve the things that's bad about you.
mhm,
But it's just like, I'll use this analogy. It's just like when they say there's good debt and bad debt, you know,
mhm,
like the bad debt can help. One of the ways that help you raise your credit score is some of the things that they say are bad. They're like revolving accounts, things like that. They will say, you don't want to, if you use the tools the right way, if you utilize them the right way, even things that are considered bad debt can help you.
yeah,
And so I feel like when you hit on the evolve your bad qualities as well, that's the first thing that came to mind. Like, you know what, he's hitting on something because a lot of people will say, that your strengths, try to maximize your strengths. But if you neglect the weaknesses,
yeah,
they're going to show up in different ways. If you neglect the bad things about there are ways to flip. There are ways to
yeah,
flip the bad things about you as a person for good. And
yeah,
there may be, for example, like somebody that's high headed, right? Like somebody who has a temper. Like in certain scenarios, it may be a good thing that person has a temper because people FO. Sometimes people need to mess around and find out. Like it's just certain scenarios where all right, that hot headedness that once it was viewed as a negative thing plays to your advantage and things like that. So I'm glad you did speak to that and say, hey, even evolve your bad qualities because if utilized the right way, they can be used for good.
yeah. It can be, and it's just like the Achilles in the heel. The
Yeah.
weaknesses. Like you can be all strong and mentally strong and all these things. You can have everything right, but it's that one little weaknesses on the back of your heel that it can take you out like that because
Hmm.
you haven't worked on it. You didn't do anything to protect yourself from that one weakness. So and I truly been I have seen where my weaknesses have been shown and nothing good came out of it. But also, so I took the time out to um, evaluate that and get better in that area. Like I said, some things don't change overnight, but you can make them little improvements along the way, and it's very beneficial at the end of the day to make those improvements. That's how you evolve. A lot of people just looking at them and saying, "Hey, I'm a good person." Yeah, to the people you know, but you can also be a bad person to the people you don't know.
Now
and
that part right there, I'm gonna hit on something right quick. So one thing I did learn in 2024, I am perfectly fine with being the villain in some people's stories because,
sometimes you
bruh,
don't have to. I mean, you don't have a choice. You have to be.
because you gonna put me there anyway. Like
Yeah.
regardless of what I do, you're gonna make. It's just like Homeboy and Spider-Man, the news report or whatever. Regardless of how many people Peter Parker saves, the
Yeah.
news reporter is gonna make this dude to be the bad guy
You still
every
the villain.
report. You still
Yep.
the villain, and so I had to be okay with being there for certain people. Like for those that watch wrestling, there's heels and there's faces. There's bad guys, heels, and then there's also the baby faces, good guys. I am perfectly fine. If y'all want to make me out to be the heel, I will play that role. I will gladly. For the ones that view me as a baby face, thank you. But for those that just want to put me in this box, like, oh, he's a bad guy, he's the heel, I will gladly be there for you
Yeah.
because I understand that you're not going to be liked by everybody. You're going to be an acquired taste for some people. Not everybody is meant to be like, you're not meant to be liked by everybody. Not
No,
everybody
you're
is meant
not.
to be part of your story. You know, they're just NPCs. They're just non-playable characters that you just are passing. We're just passing by. We just so happen to cross paths. That's all it is. And so understanding that was initially a hard concept to grasp.
Mm.
Actually, that last year and even some years back, that everybody I come across isn't going to have a bigger role than what it is. Like just accepting it for what it is. Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
you are you are just my coworker. That's it. We are just students in the same. We are just classmates. That's it. We
Yeah.
are just peers. That's it. Like putting people in that box. Like this ain't gonna be nothing more than shoot. You are just a follower.
Yeah.
That's it. I will not know you on a personal level. You are just somebody who's gonna scroll on my pages, maybe like something, maybe not look at my story, maybe tap it and skip it. But that's just what it is. You are just that, and won't be anything more than that. And so just trying to figure out, all right, putting people in the right spaces, and letting it be what it is. And of course, life will reveal. Like true colors are always shown. Life
Oh
life
yeah.
will reveal who's supposed to be what, when, and where. But it's the matter of accepting. Are you accepting what life is showing you?
Yeah, that's true. And I love the way you did that because in some seasons you're just gonna be the villain regardless of how good you try to do it and everything else. And there were times when I was really good to people and I still ended up to be the villain. It's like sometimes like you can really, how can I say this? You can really be stabbed in the back and blamed for bleeding everywhere. And it's
Hmm.
crazy that some people just feel like they would do that. And then when you switch up the energy, because I know who you are now, now I become more of a villain to you, and now you're pointing at all those things. But what I'm really trying to say is, how dare, how dare you in one season, you was you was able to utilize the benefits of me, and then in another season, now that you don't have the access as you once had, people feel like you're the villain now.
Hmm.
Now they gotta feel like, into sum it up, and is, you know, I had to be okay with being the villain, and I had to be okay by not explaining why I'm the villain.
Yeah.
If you put me in that box, why have I got to defend myself to get out?
Mhm.
That's not my problem. That's a you problem at that point. And
Ex-
I've been called an asshole and everything else, and I'm like, okay, that's what you think about me. That's you're entitled to your opinion, but that don't mean that I have to accept it.
There we go, bro. Look here, man. Hey, look, they amuse you as long as they can use you, man. Like I don't get it. Well,
Yeah,
let me rephrase. I get it. I understand. I just don't agree. I
nah, I
like,
don't.
well, and I think that's because we wouldn't do people like that. So that's why it's hard for us to fathom, like the nerve of these people, the peak. Look, I said this last year. I don't know what it is about current times, but audacity has hit all time high. I mean peaks that we
It
have
has,
never
man.
seen,
It
that we've
has.
never
It
seen
has.
before. And I
It
don't know
has.
what it is. I don't know why. And this needs to be studied. Years from now, we need to study. Like, look, between post pandemic, audacity was just Hall of Fame levels,
Oh yeah.
historic levels of audacity, and it needs to be it needs to be researched.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I had to learn, man. You got to meet people where they are,
There we
and
go.
just leave it at that. Uh, I no longer want the popularity, and I did start start noticing something about people that's in the higher echelon, like the Kevin Harts,
Mhm.
Mr. Beast, Kai.
Mhm.
They always keep the same people around them. They don't add
Mhm.
no new people or anything else. They might they might they might just see you, meet you, but they don't hang around you 24/7, but they keep
Mm.
that same small group everywhere, everywhere. And I was like, huh, I see why, because a lot of times you got to stick with the people that are there for you
There we go.
regardless. If people ain't checking up on you, seeing how you doing and everything else, then that answers to how much they really cared about
Mhm.
you. And that's just
And,
it.
and look, how many disciples did Jesus have? And one of them still stabbed him in the back. Like, yo, come on, man. Like, give
Yeah.
give give me the loyalty all day. I don't care about the numbers. I just care about the loyalty. Like, I would rather have 10 loyal down ass friends than 1,000 who I gotta question their intentions.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Give me the loyalty all day.
Yeah,
All
I
day. I
agree.
don't even need gifts. Like, I'll keep it a buck. Like, and don't get me wrong. I appreciate whatever I get out of people. However they decide to express their gratitude and appreciation for our relationship and friendship, I will gladly accept it. However, the best gift I can get from anybody is loyalty. I don't
Mm,
need no physical. I don't. It doesn't have to be any tangible item.
yeah,
Like.
yeah. I agree. I agree with that. Is I would say loyalty and now support for me.
For sure.
That support, it goes a long way with me. And I would definitely say it, and it's funny too because it used to. Well, I guess loyalty can go into no, support can go into loyalty at that
hmm
point. But yeah, that has become important to me because at the end of the day, whether I I succeed or fail, that support system will be there to be like, hey, pick your head up. Let's go ahead and work on the next one. That didn't work out. Fine. Hey, you still tried it. Let If you want to continue to go at it, let's improve on it. If
There we
not,
go.
let's move on to the next thing. And that helps out a lot. So in the times that motivational Zay don't feel so motivational,
Bro,
you know,
man,
is
man,
that support system there to help you, remind you who you are and what you have accomplished and all those things. It helps a lot nowadays.
look here. Look, if y'all go to the IG page, the Buffet IG page, there is a reason why you see a lot of Zay. This man has put the team on his back. Literally. Literally. Because your boy in 2024, to get in front of a camera and say anything motivational was a challenge, a struggle. It was
Yeah.
an absolute hurdle to climb.
Mm.
Shifting gears here, since we're talking about support, I need y'all to go cop that Prisoner of Dreams on freaking Amazon. I need y'all.
The promotion just come out of nowhere.
Hey, look. We've been
I wasn't expecting it.
my God, we've been preparing for these moments all our lives, man. Hey, look, there's
Oh
a
my
reason
goodness.
why. There's a
Oh
reason
my
why.
goodness.
But
That's so
shameless
funny.
plug. Once we
That's
once we
so
get
funny.
once we get our lives together, shameless plug, man. Hey, look, go out there, cop that Prisoner of Dreams by Xavier Peoples. This is definitely the first, but it won't be the last of his works. But this is the launch pad for his writing career, for as his career as an author, his life as an author. So if y'all could please support the movement, support the great man Xavier Peoples. I co-signed it. I bought 2 copies. And I'm probably gonna go buy another one just off the strength. I the first copy, because I bought one to come out here to Germany, and then one for the crib. So whoever's at the crib, in Virginia, they got a copy. My pops read it actually. My pops read it, good reviews. He was like, "Yeah, man, your brother Zay is on the site." Because my dad has this Mufasa like voice. All right, let me get this together here. Let me bring this down. So yeah, my father has a Mufasa like voice, very very deep and methodical way of thinking. He's a more serious version of me. He's the serious side of me. He's like, yeah, Mike. So I've been reading now Xavier's book, and he has some really good material in there. Next time you talk to him, let him know. I'm like, we'll do. We'll do.
I appreciate it. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. So,
But yeah,
and the thing about it, man, like every time like I said, every time I'm still amazed every time I see that picture. I'm still like like I don't care how many times I've seen it, signed it, read it, I'm still amazed. And it's always seemed like every time I read it, I get something out of it. And I wrote the doggone thing. That's the crazy part.
so let's unpack that. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So why do you get this feeling when you see the cover?
Oh, because of how it was is that wasn't the original cover. The original cover was me, my face, and then a picture of sales in the background. That was the original picture. And then and it was like something just did not sit right with me. So I said, and I went to God and I said, "Hey, show me what image you want me to display on the front page."
Mm-hmm.
And on the cover, and I then woke up the next morning and I drew this. It wasn't to this standard, but
Mm-hmm.
I drew this same exact picture, and with the fear and the comfort zone and everything. It was just, and the dude standing in the background with the Romans 8:31 back there.
Mm-hmm.
It was in my mind clear as day. And to see that the artist came out with that, I was like, this is exactly what I wanted. And it was just amazing to me that he did it. Now I'm not gonna lie. I've been talked about a couple of times about that white man in the sale. They was like, how did they know a black author wrote this book if you got a white man in the sale? I was like, well, I wanted to be able to come off as a multi multifaceted book, not just generated to one area,
Mm-hmm.
but everybody. So when they turn to the back, the black man is back there, and that black man is me. But I wanted to capture your eye to see that a man is in a suit back there,
Mm-hmm.
and he's really representing the guy that's in front of what it could be. And I wanted to make sure I portray that, you know, because it's the book is called Prisoner of Dreams, and sometimes those dreams are in prison. Those who we once want to be. So, and like I said, I'm always amazed about it because even that in detail, just from the cover in detail, it was amazed how it was just put together. Even the chapters, like if you it I would say in your next season that you feeling stuck, read the content page, and whatever jumps out at you, you can start from there to do a refresh, and you won't have to read the whole thing. because I wrote it in a way where you could just start in one chapter and finish it, and you don't have to read any other book from that from that standpoint. You don't have to read no more of the book into another season. Like it's a book that I feel like you can keep revisiting in seasons of moments. You don't have to read the whole thing. You can read the whole thing in the beginning to get the synopsis of the book down. But at the same time, you can always pick a chapter in the book of where I'm feeling like right now in this season. Okay, I'm feeling like I am at the beginning stage. I'm trying to figure things out and blah blah blah. Okay, I can go to chapter I think chapter 2, and now I can read through that. Okay, I got the motivation to go and then such and such. So, okay, now I feel like I'm feeling accomplished, but what am I missing? Now I can go to chapter 11. So I wrote it like that, and yeah, it's just always amazing to me that I wrote that book, and I would give God all the glory for
Bruh.
that.
Absolutely. And you know what? I never put two and two together that the dude in the suit and the dude in the prisoner were the same person. Like I always just
Oh,
assume like, all right, maybe that's his lawyer. That maybe that's like, somebody
oh,
coming to
really?
visit.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
like I
okay.
I never put the two and two. So I'm glad you broke that down because
Yeah,
I never the fear comfort zone and the Romans 8:31. All right,
yeah,
that hit. That hit.
yeah.
That's easily digestible. But I never would have thought the dude in the suit and the dude and the prisoner were the same person. So I'm not,
Oh,
and now it makes sense because like the dude in the suit has the light shining on him from the window in the top right corner.
yeah. He's in the prison, and the guy that was outside is not in prison.
Okay.
So as you see the window in the top right,
Yeah.
he's the guy that's in the suit is in the cell.
So now you just mind screwed me even more. Okay.
The guy is in the cell. That's why if you looked at that picture of the not the picture but the reel I did of me on of me in the suit versus me in the white shirt,
Mhm.
and I was in handcuffs and everything with my hands in the background. I was outside the prison while the me in the suit and everything was inside the prison. So it was all about it's based. It really is all about we are trapping ourselves. We are really just. I'm sorry about that, but we are really holding ourselves back because of the comfort zone and fear that attached to us. That we are really the prisoner in life, in reality, but we want to be the guy that's in prison because that's the guy that can accomplish the dreams, that can go after what he wants, and that is okay with being uncomfortable with
Mhm.
whatever life brings. He is the guy that can go get it. I guess I never put that up. I never explained. Yeah, I
You
need to.
never
Yeah, I need to do it.
but
Somebody told me that I need to put what my thinking was in a video of doing all this, but I
oh, here it
never
is.
did.
Because trust and believe, the way I'm gonna slice this up, I'm gonna slice this up, put it on YouTube, and there it is. But no, I think that is good that you did do it the way that you did because let's be real, man. Art is up to interpret. Let's be real. How many times you been to a museum or something and people like this piece of work is
Yeah,
what y'all marvel over? So in
yeah,
this regard, because I will say most of the times a lot of books are better than the movies and it's
mm,
because of the way the writer did it is left up to interpretation. So I think the fact that the cover, because literally we're two people here and there's two different interpretations of this cover.
Yeah.
And I think if we had more people on here, we probably have even more interpretations of the cover. So
Uh,
I'm glad that you did it the way you did it, because sometimes when you explain, like, this is going to sound petty. It's just like how people will say, "Did Lloyd say, is she 5'2" or fine 2?"
oh, that's a real argument.
Like, that's what
She 5'2". Wait, no, if she's 5'2". Wait, no. And like it really is. What are you listening for? The words that you're listening for will always, like, you'll hear. Yeah, I'm agreement. Okay, I see what
Yeah.
you're saying though.
Yeah. And so even Lloyd said, "Hey, look, it's however you want to interpret it." Because, like, man, you got all these ladies that's 5'2" going crazy right now, feeling super appreciative, super appreciated and coveted.
Yeah,
But once again, that's the beauty of being a creative.
yeah,
Like, you can get so many different interpretations. It's not like, in our professional world where it's like, all right, it got to be black and white. It got to be this is
yeah.
what it
That's
is,
true.
and it got to go down this way. But
Yeah,
this, and with being a writer, content creator, things like that, you can literally bring your imagination to life,
yeah.
and
It
and,
is.
and let it inspire others in however way, shape, or form that it does. So, bro, I am glad. I am 1000% glad that you broke this cover down, because I was gonna go the rest of my life thinking, oh man, that's his lawyer or something. Or that's like one of his relatives coming to visit him or something. I was all kinds of wrong. I had it backwards, because I thought homie with the light shining on him was free, and the dude behind bars was in the suit. But now it makes sense when you look at, like, understand the elements from front to back.
Yeah,
So the prisoner is in, the dude in the ball and chain is in front for a reason,
yeah,
and the homie in the suit is further back for a reason as well. So, no,
yeah,
man, thank you for breaking that down. And
yeah, yeah,
also,
yeah.
also for y'all watching this, y'all see the banner at the bottom. I spelled that one right. Now earlier I caught a typo in the other banner. I misspelled Twitter because I was rushing. This is what happens when you don't take your time. I spelled this one right. Go buy Prisoner of Dreams on Amazon.
Yeah,
Go,
yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Oh, let me explain one more thing to you,
let's
because
go.
I was missing that one more thing. Is you see where you got the fear and comfort zone?
Yeah.
That scripture answers to that, because the scripture is, if God be for you, who can be against you? And that answers to the fear and comfort zone.
So
That
everything connects.
Yeah. Yeah. So everything was thought out to the detail when I did that. And I'm sorry, I had to go ahead and
No,
explain that one thing.
bro,
So when
this is
you
what
have when you have conversation about this to your wife, you could be like, yeah, you didn't really know what Zay was talking about. Let me go ahead and put you on game how he operates.
went over the head. So I'm gonna ask this question, and you can answer it offline. So I'm gonna assume the DOC 1031-459, it has some significance as well, but you don't have to answer that right.
uh wait. What does the number say? Hold on.
1031-459. Yeah, 1031-459. I
I
assume that
believe
was like,
so. I
yeah,
believe so. I believe so. I got to think about it, because I think it was supposed to be like a date or something. I had
mm-hmm.
to look at my notes again, but I think it was supposed to be a date or something, or when everything changed for me.
Got you.
I forget, but because I had everything detailed out, everything, but I had to check it. I had to check my notes to make sure I ain't lying.
Absolutely. Hey, look, no, now next time, because trust and believe, every time we do a show, there's gonna be a segment promoting this book. So
I
next go
appreciate it.
around, you will have plenty of opportunities to explain for
I
sure.
appreciate it.
And that's what this podcast is about, man. Like, it's about sharing our greatness with others, putting our greatness on display, sharing our gifts with others, so it can inspire them to do other things. And man, look, Bert, there are times where you just need to brag on yourself, pat yourself on the back, Explain why. Like, look, we there's a certain level of modesty we do have. Don't get me wrong, because we're not celebrities. Like we're not gonna say we regular people, because we all unique in some way, shape, or form. We all unique in some facet. However, we ain't celebrities. We get that, you know.
Yeah.
So there's a humbleness that comes with it. However, I will gladly hype you. Look, man, I will gladly boost your head up and hype you up when it's time to. Like, there's a time and place, and right now it's time. This is the place. So gladly, gladly expound on everything around surrounding this book.
I appreciate you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Then I'm gonna have to pick it up and read it again. Then.
Trust and believe. Look, man.
So I can stay sharp for those what they call siren questions.
Oh yeah,
answer at a like
rapid fire, man.
Rapid fire, yeah.
Rapid fire, because trust and believe, this ain't gonna be the first time you get interviewed about this book, man. Like, so once again, as we talked about throughout this episode, y'all, like reps and sets, like your squad over here, your men over here are definitely putting in that work. And so when the day comes to speak in front of these people, the interviews, the speaking in front of large crowds, things like that, we gonna be ready. Like, once we figure this thing out, we're warning you now.
Yeah.
Once we figure this shit out,
it does help. It does help. I would say that it does help.
It's a takeover. It is definitely a takeover. But no, we are going to wrap things up, because we've been on here for about going on 3 hours, as some people say in the South. We've been on here for 3 hours. And it's 4 a.m. over here, sis.
Oh my goodness. You ain't going, man, go to sleep.
No. So this is what I do. So when I know we shooting an episode or whatever, what I do is I take a nap. I take a nap. Trust me. I'm prepared for these. Your boy be preparing for these situations, man. So it's no problem, man. As soon as I got home, ate a little bit, slept a little bit. Hey, get messed up. No, I'm just playing. But no, yeah, man. Took a nap. Woke up about 15 minutes before showtime. Threw something on. I was like, all right, what can I wear that's gonna be appropriate for the theme today? And yeah, here we go. So no, can't thank you enough. Can't thank you enough for providing your insights on the book, your 2024. For sure, the 5-year plan, that's definitely going to get ran into the ground. Okay. A lot. But yeah, man, before we go, any shameless plugs, man? Anything you got? Any parting words you got for the people?
It's 2025. Whatever that didn't happen in 2024, leave it there. Start the new year, new mindset. And don't ever try to focus on that 2024 mindset. What does that 2025 mindset looks like? And stick with it. Only improve from there. No, don't go back. Only improve. That's my message.
There it is. That is the great Motivational Zay. Y'all can find him on Instagram at Motivational Zay. Also, the information for the buffet is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Yes, I corrected the spelling of Twitter for those who are going to be in the comments like, oh, you misspelled Twitter. But no, I'm gonna piggyback off. I'm gonna piggyback off what he said, man. I know a lot of people be like, yeah, new year, new me. Let's switch that up, man. Let's say new year, better me, because there's elements of yourself that are going to be needed in the future. So let's say new year, better me. Because we don't need to go back to the drawing board and go start from scratch for you as a person. You just gotta just tweak some things, minor tweaks. Let's make the correct modifications that prepare you for your next situation. And of course, what would an episode of the buffet be if I ain't promote something? You already saw me promote the book. Now I'm gonna promote Ken Apparel. That's the Scully. On the inside, I am not taking it off because there's a reason why. I got an appointment Thursday to get a cut. I am woofing right now, so you will not see the hair. But Kin Apparel, KIN Apparel.
Yeah, this is it too.
My man, this is why you my brother. This is why you my brother. You see how we be on one accord? We ain't playing this shit. We be on one accord.
Yeah.
They got Scullies, they got toboggans, whatever term you want to use. They got wraps, like they got head scarves, headbands. They got it all. So the silk lining on the inside, you know.
Yep.
So
and I wear this thing everywhere. It's a good product, man.
Bro,
really
what, man, look, when I go into work and I don't want to go in looking completely, you know, like the thug they want to portray me as, I wear the toboggan that has the silk lining on the inside. That way the waves can stay right, and especially now that I'm woofing. So, man, definitely appreciate you coming on, and definitely appreciate Kin Apparel. Support good Black business. I'm gonna continue to say that. Support good Black business. I'm not gonna say go out there and support any Black business, because you know some people are trying to figure it out. So allow them that grace to figure it out. Don't trash them, and unless it's warranted. But support good Black business. And of course, y'all know how I end this thing, man. Y'all motivate me, so we got to motivate y'all back. Let's keep these positive vibes going. Y'all have you know what it is. Y'all have a blessed day. Hey, look, like I said before, man, a lot of platforms that may look like us, but even with the recipe, you can't cook like us, man. Trust in the brothers is a must. We out of here. Zay, I appreciate you. And I slipped up because I forgot to do the gosh darn background music. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
We on next. No. Yeah. We out of here. Hey, man. Zay, love you, bro, man. Appreciate you coming through.
No problem. Love you too, bro.
Yeah.